daddies, metal daddies, metal daddies, metal daddies.
Welcome back to another week with us here at Death Metal Daddies. My name is Jeff.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Silas. How's it going?
Good, how's it going?
Hi.
Ready? You ready for another week?
uh, it's fantastic. Can't wait to do Meshuggah.
Yeah? Are you ready? We could
Yeah,
do
let's go.
a third Meshuggah episode in a row.
Yeah, I mean, I think they deserve, a couple more at least.
I see you're donning the new shirt.
Yep.
Nice. Yeah.
I think it was dirty last week, so.
Yeah, it's another week with
Hell
us here
yeah.
at Death Metal Daddies. Let's just get right into it.
Welcome
How the
back.
hell's your week been? What you been up to,
Welcome
bro?
back. Getting shit done, dude. Mowed the yard yesterday. That's looking good. Um, Took this stupid liner off of Lex's car. It was like dragging. So it's just one of those things that's like been on my to-do list for like a year, and I was like, yeah, I'll get to it. And finally, I was just like, fuck it. I've heard like so many people comment about it. Basically, it's just like an undercarriage liner that just kind of, it's like a piece of cloth. I don't know. And it's just ripped over time, so it like sags. Looks like, or like there's parts under there dragging, but it really is just this cloth liner. So, anyways, finally got that out, but it was like way more difficult than I thought it would be. I was fucking spent almost an hour just taking it off. So, um, but yeah, finally got it off anyways. Um, got my handle fixed on my tailgate that Prater Auto Body Works broke. So that's nice. And I also replaced my taillights with like the smoked out ones, like kind of like dark, I don't know. It's just like a
Okay.
dark plastic. They look pretty cool. So,
Okay.
I'm hoping to do like a whole tan and black vibe with my truck over time.
Oh, okay.
One step at a time, though, I want some badass rims. Like, I would love some matte black rims or like tires, wheels, not rims. Like, I'm not gonna get like 22 inches or anything, ridiculous like that. But I just think it'd be cool to get like some badass wheels.
I gotcha.
But other than that, man, yeah, just grinding away.
Yeah.
What about you, man?
Um, not too busy week. I've had a 4-day weekend.
Sweet.
Thursday I did go and finally get a deer cam. So I
Mm,
got some of that and some
those
liquid
are
deer
fun.
cane and
Nice.
set that out. I haven't checked it yet. I'm gonna wait a while because I don't want to be like a kind of like a watch pot doesn't boil. So I guarantee if I just keep
Right.
checking this deer cam, I'm not gonna get anything. So probably
That's
wait another
crazy.
2 weeks until I see if I
Lex
get
just
anything.
Lex just used that same saying to me like a week ago. And so like I've been hooked on that and I've been like trying to find like similar ones.
Hmm.
It's just like cuz like I'm in the zone of like flower or like my garden and stuff, how I got that go. So like I'm just out there every day just like literally watching and I'm just like, damn, I really don't like how that one's wilting. So I just like sit and watch it some more. And I hope that it just, straightens out right before my eyes. And I'm like, yes, all right, come on, my hope did it. No, but it's pretty ridiculous. So yeah, like she literally came up to me one day. She just seen me staring at plants. And she just like, a watched pot doesn't boil or something like that. I was like, what? I was like, totally makes sense though. Yeah, but yeah, pretty funny. But yeah, anyways, sorry to interrupt. I was gonna say something else too. What were you saying?
Oh,
Sorry.
about the deer cam?
Oh yeah, deer camp. Yeah, isn't it crazy how like you can get random spikes of like deer hunting interest? Like I feel like 2 weeks ago I would have had not a care in the world, but like Collins, he hit me up recently about he's wanting to do like a kayak float in hunt style thing. Like take up a weekend basically of early bow and find a place to camp, and then like we basically from where we camp, just kind of hiking. We're gonna scout like hunting spots and just kind of loosely planned. It's just initial thoughts. But he even mentioned, if you might be interested in doing something like that this year. I don't know if that would be your thing or.
It would be cool. It's just the only thing is I don't have a bow. I do want to get a bow at some point this
Hmm.
summer, though.
Oh yeah, that's right. Well,
Just like a cheap one.
yeah, I knew you were getting into it. So, but definitely like a future possibility if you get into floating or so. And, I mean, he even mentioned like doing a hike in too. It doesn't have to be like a float, but it's just cool the idea of floating in because you're kind of going at you're going to have an advantage that other hunters don't just because you're choosing to go in on a boat, whereas many people are just going to be like, "Fuck that, that's way too far." So, but
Yeah, where would that be at? Because I don't really. Is it just like a public place that you can go to, or?
yeah, I mean, he's the GPS. Like he knows all the good spots and like all public land, obviously. But yeah, he knows all like the streams and everything. I basically just rely on him for navigation whenever we're doing that kind of stuff. I mean,
So my
we
question.
haven't tried that, but I'm just mean floating in general.
So my question with that is so if you go all the way out to where you have to use a boat, how are you going to get the deer back
Float it back.
on the kayak? How heavy
Yeah,
can the kayak get?
um, so he actually has a pretty sick setup. I don't know if he's got a canoe or a raft. I think he mentioned using a canoe. I don't know. I'm guessing that we just pick a river or I don't know. I don't know if we do like a shuttle thing like we do like our normal float trips because normally we have like two shuttle vehicles.
Hmm.
So we'll all meet at one spot, drop all of our shit off, and then someone's got to leave their vehicle there. And then we'll take whoever else in the meetup to the pullout spot miles down and then drop that vehicle off there. And then the vehicle that's staying at the put in, obviously brings everyone back to the put in and you park it there till the end of the trip. And then you use that final vehicle to go get the other one. So
Yeah,
basically, you got to have two vehicles involved that can haul everything,
I
essentially.
gotcha. Yeah, because I'm almost thinking, like you kind of saying, have someone parked kind of near down there as the kind of the shuttle. So just have everyone kind of bring their
Hmm.
deer carcasses up to the road. Have some that one person go get that car, load it up, or the truck go load up all the deer carcasses, and take them all to your vehicles.
Yeah, I mean, and so, well, in that sort of deal, I'm thinking that we'd probably just like process it out. Like you just quarter it out, I'm thinking, and you just
Hmm.
keep the meat. So we'd probably bring iced coolers because I imagine you'd have to, if there's a canoe involved, it can definitely hold,
Hmm.
ice down chests and stuff. So,
So that's a lot of
but
gear you
I
gotta
don't know.
bring.
Yeah,
You gotta bring your
I mean,
Gramble.
yeah, I mean, might be able to just tie it up and pull it up on a branch or something. But you're
Yeah,
also trying to rely on nature to provide something like that for you. So I don't know, but you can figure it out.
yeah,
But I've also seen methods where you can literally skin them on the ground and just like basically do one half and then flip it over.
yeah.
I don't know.
That's what I did my first year. My back was killing me. It was all that
Yeah,
hunching over,
right.
and
Definitely not
I'd rather
ideal.
not do that. Once I did the Gramble, I don't want to go back to doing it on the ground.
Hmm. Yeah, I think I called it like a gantry hook for the longest time. I don't even know what a gantry hook is. Thinking it's
Is
got
it
to be something
gantry or
similar.
Gramble? I can't remember.
I don't know. Might be both.
I threw the box away, so it's just
Yeah.
what pretty much looks like a coat hanger.
Yeah, I think you're right though. I think it is gambrel. But yeah,
Yeah,
anyways, I think something like that would be pretty cool.
yeah,
But we've never done it, but I'm just always willing to try something new like
yeah.
that. I think
Something
that'd be
new.
pretty sweet.
Um, Other than that, Friday I just me and the kids because Danny had a photo shoot. Sunday we had Easter, whole family down at my parents' house. Ate too much. Wife made all
Nice.
that desserts and stuff. Other than that, not a
Nice.
whole lot I can think of. Feel like I'm missing something. Oh, Um, so I found something out, kind of two things. You brought one of them up the last episode, how the
Mhm.
acacia strain is on Mother's Day in Springfield. So
Yeah,
that's kind of out of the way. I found out there's another conflict issue with another big concert. Um,
really.
the Carnifex Devourment show is on my anniversary.
Um, yeah, I can't really do that one.
Nope.
Damn, that's like a double whammy for you.
Yeah.
Two shows in 1 year. That's nuts.
Yeah, I brought it up to
Like,
Danny. She was trying to be
is that
nice,
the
like, hey,
same
you
month?
can maybe go. And we're like, I feel like a shitty husband if I did that. And she's like, yeah, because I planned because she could go into Montana for a photo shoot, but she wanted to be back the day before to celebrate our anniversary, so I
Oh
can't
shit.
just dip out
Like, all
and go to
right,
Tulsa.
welcome back. See ya. Going to a
I
show.
gotta go see Devourment.
Yeah. Damn, that's tough. That is tough.
I have been looking at other dates. The next closest show is Nashville, Tennessee, which is 7 hours away.
Oh jeez. Yeah, that'd be ridiculous. Man. Yeah, that would
Yeah,
be a sick show. Devourment.
yeah. Because I don't know what they rarely tour, especially near here. So I don't know if there's a
Yeah.
long gap between them playing in Texas and then playing in Florida. There's like a 4 day gap. They
Hmm.
could throw in an Arkansas show in there at some point,
Yeah. Right.
or like
No
they can
doubt.
do Little Rock. It's only a 4 hour drive. I can do that.
Maybe they're doing that. Maybe they're like leaving it open intentionally because they're gonna plan another date or something. I don't know.
Hopefully, we'll see. Yeah, that's about all I got this week. I have been
I,
getting back into the Dorado album by Spirit World.
oh,
Um,
nice.
mostly because I found this other app because I usually use Ultimate Guitar to learn guitar tabs. But there's this other app and it has a little bit more, especially when it comes to Spirit World. So I learned that
Hmm.
cool riff in Abilene Grime. That
Oh, sweet. Hell
it's
yeah.
fun. It's awesome.
That's cool. What tuning are they in?
D standard.
Oh,
So
okay.
just tuned everything just tuned down a whole step.
Nice. Hell yeah. I was trying to think. I felt like I was rolling through a recent release again. But now I can't remember what it was. Shit. I don't know. Um, anyways, I think I cut you off. I didn't even ask you about your deer camera. I
Hmm.
like derailed that conversation. So you just have it set up? Have you seen anything on it or?
No, because I just got it last week, and it's one of those things. I wanted to let
Oh,
it
okay, nice.
sit out there for a little bit, and I just poured the liquid deer cane out there to see if something comes, because I want to see what is actually out there.
Oh, for sure.
See if we can get a buck on this land, just so that I uh, am not disappointed year after year. It's like, man, no bucks are coming. Because last year I didn't see a single buck. It was all does. Think about what 7 does altogether. Uh,
Yeah,
so
that's,
want to
I
see if
mean,
we at
that's,
least have a buck.
oh, I guarantee you're going to see some. I used to have my camera on the sawmill property that I was hunting, and I did a year-round like feeding where I fed them all through the spring, summer, and by the time, so that about, by the time hunting season came around, I just felt, wanted them to get used to that area as being a hot spot. So, and it pretty much worked that way. But I had a buck on camera in July who was like he had a solid like 10, like or no, maybe he was just an 8. I don't know. No, I'm pretty sure he was a 10, but I never ended up seeing him like during the season. And but it was just real cool to see because he had like the antlers, but they just weren't real tall. They were like all nubbed off, but you could just see the start of them. I was like, damn, dude, it was awesome. It was crazy how big the rack was already during that month. So I couldn't imagine what he looked like, in the fall when it's like fully grown. So,
Yeah,
but yeah, man, it's pretty cool.
yeah, that's what I want. I want there to be that my white whale of that's it. He's somewhere out there. I need to get him, kind of thing.
Yeah, target bucks. Yeah, it's a
Hmm.
thing. Guys get real big into that shit. But it's just a different ball game for me because public land, not really allowed to use trail cameras.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, you'll probably see them and find them, and you're not supposed to bait. I found a bait pile this last season when I was hunting, and then, I go to inspect the area again and it's just gone. And it was like one of those brick style ones. So
Hmm.
I was like, yeah, I don't know. That was interesting. So I don't know. It's almost, you just gotta go by what you see. But yeah.
Yeah. That's all I got for my week. You ready to get in some new releases?
What are you guys listening to?
Weekly playlist.
Weekly
Playlist.
Weekly playlist. Weekly.
Sure. Let's
Hell
do it.
yeah. All right. So this week was actually a very small playlist. Only 3 albums and an EP, a lot of singles, because there wasn't really a lot of big new albums that came out from big bands. I think I saw Epica, but at the same time, I don't really care to review an Epica album. So
What?
I decided to just kind of focus on albums I found on the Avent Void Facebook group. So this is all
Sweet.
underground bands when it comes to the full albums. But first, let's get into the singles. First
Okay.
single we have is "What We Know" by Tala. This is
Mm.
a newer. I want to say they started in like the 2010 time frame. Very new metalcore kind of band. I don't know. Listen to this kind of made me think a little bit of like somewhere between like Cold Chamber and Corn. Uh, but I don't know. I've never been super on
Yeah.
this band, but this one wasn't bad. I didn't mind this one. What did you think of this one?
I thought it's pretty sick, dude. I like the groove to it. I
Mm-hmm.
definitely dig it. Yeah, and it like kind of takes me back. I was a little thrown off with the vocals at first, but after a while, I think you just kind of get used to it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but no, it's pretty sick. I like it. I dig.
Yeah, I've been trying to kind of get into this band because I've heard the vocalist is like really good, but when I've checked out past stuff, he just sounded too much like Linkin Park to.
Mm.
It kind of threw me off. And I wasn't really into it, but this one he fits good. Doesn't have that Linkin Park vibe. I think does good on this one. So that's the new single "What We Know" by Tala.
Tala
Um,
Tala.
Up next we have "Perverse Immortality" by Chorus of Demons featuring Vomit Forth. Uh, this was pretty cool. Very a little bit of a Vomit Forth vibe. Like yes, he's in it. The vocalist is in it, but the whole sound of it was very Vomit Forth-ish. I kind of like this. What did you think of this one?
Yeah, it rips, dude. It's brutal. I dig.
Hell yeah. That's Perverse Immortality by Chorus of Demons featuring Vomit Forth. Up next, we have the new single from the upcoming album. That album is going to be called Rivers of Nile by the band Rivers of Nile.
Oh,
And
it's
the name of the
self-titled,
song
huh?
is, yeah, I'm pretty sure. And the name of this song is Water in Time. What do you think of
Mm.
this one?
I didn't mind it. I thought it was pretty cool. I don't know. Interested to hear the album. I don't know that I went back and like listened to this multiple times or anything. What'd you think?
I didn't mind it. I kind of like the other singles a little bit better because I felt like those were heavier and harder hitting. But this one was a little bit more softer tone, more somber. But I will say I like the clean vocals in this one than I did in the other songs. I think the clean
Oh,
vocals
really?
actually fit better.
I
But that's
didn't
just my
find this
opinion.
one. I didn't find this one to be like as memorable as the others.
Yeah,
Okay, the other ones definitely have that more kind of catchy thing going on. But
yeah,
just my
yeah.
stupid ears.
And I think it's just because of that whole somber feel. It's more laid back, or not laid
Yeah,
back, but it's more
right.
not
It's
as
kind of more chilled.
aggressive. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
And that is the new song Water and Time by Rivers of Nihil with their new
Mm-hmm.
upcoming album, Rivers of Nihil.
No hell.
Um, Up next, this is a band that you've brought up a couple times, and that is Larcinia Row featuring Vulvodynia with their new song, Eggy Mess. What did you think of Eggy
It's a
Mess?
great title. I felt like I just had to listen to it once I seen that title. I was like, I got to see what this is about. This is kind of ridiculous, and it sounds like that. Like the title matches perfectly because it sounds ridiculous, and of course it's this band again being ridiculous, and but it's pretty cool, man. I mean, I felt like this was the first song of theirs that's really kind of like held me in through it, like all the way through. I actually
hmm
dig. There's some sick, badass grooves, and it just gets like snappy, heavy, like so fast. I'm just
hmm
like it's like out of nowhere.
hmm
But I feel like it definitely fits with the Vulvodynia feature because it's
Yeah.
like kind of what Vulvodynia was doing on this last album was real like chaotic, kind of snappy, you know. Um, I don't know. It just they fit really good. But yeah, man, I thought it was badass. What'd you think of it?
I did like it. It's something about this band because you brought it up before. It's just super fucking heavy, and I don't know if it's the vocals that are doing it or if it's the tuning of the instruments. But it just sounds just super fucking low, and it just stays down there. And I do think Vulvodynia is a great feature for because it's kind of he already the vocals of Vulvodynia have always been kind of that super lowish kind of thing anyway. So I think it
Yeah.
fits perfectly. And yeah, you're right. It's perfect title because the song is just an eggy mess. It's just a
Yeah.
gross, eggy,
Goo.
grimy mess, and it's a nice in a good way. It's
Hmm.
good.
It is.
Uh, I want to. I'm assuming this is building up to a new album. So let's see. We'll obviously have to come back to Larcinia Row whenever this album drops and give a full review to where we can fully understand what it is this band is fully trying to do. Because right now it does feel it's been a nice mess, but I want to see what this
Hmm.
full mess looks like.
Yeah, it's yeah, man. I don't know. They got a unique thing going on.
hmm
I mean, it's
Absolutely.
like those vocals. The vocals are just they really throw me off. It's just so crisp and right up front, and I don't know, man. It's like I got to see that live. That's
hmm
crazy. It's just
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Up
Oh yeah.
next, we have another band. This is more in your wheelhouse. The new song by Fallujah,
Hmm.
Labyrinth of Stone. Looks like it's for an upcoming album. What'd you think of this song?
I didn't listen to all of it.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay. You're good.
Um,
Um,
I like jammed some of it, and I did like what I heard. But what do you think of it?
I
I
did
I
like
will
it.
listen to this eventually because I like
Um,
Fallujah.
I do think I like this song better than I like their previous song they released for this album. Um, still not fully there, but I do it kind of did bring me back to what was that album of theirs? The big one. We even reviewed
Um,
the re-release.
um, with the boobs on it.
Yeah, with the two
Flesh pre
yeah, the flesh
flesh
prevails.
prevails.
It kind of reminds me of that. I actually really like the cleans on this one. I think they're very done very well. Um, yeah, very soundscapey techie death. Uh Yeah, I enjoyed this one a lot more than I did the other one. So I'm interested to see what this new project will come about. And that is the new single by Fallujah, with their single Labyrinth of Stone.
It
Um,
looks like the video to this is pretty ridiculous.
I haven't seen it. What's it look like?
I think they're just like kind of being goofy
Hmm.
goobers.
Ah,
Um, yeah, it just looks like it's pretty comical. They got like
I
a,
gotcha.
he's like playing ripping guitar in front of a Lamborghini and shit. Dude's like getting a tattoo. It's pretty funny.
Up next we have Viljarta with a new song plus sign question mark Regnet, comma the question mark
Hmm.
plus sign. I think I pronounced that
Interesting.
correctly.
Yeah.
This is I don't know much about this band. I keep hearing about it. I hear there's some genre called thrall or thal,
Thal.
which which I've heard that um, Amongst the Low and Empty by Signs of Swarm is more in that genre as well. And I can
Oh,
kind of hear it a little bit of a genty, but it's also very, I don't know, borderline atmosphere. It's almost a lot of the
yeah.
tremolo chords going on, but
Okay.
still super deep and heavy.
I
Because
didn't
this
realize that
one,
was a genre.
yeah, this song reminded me a lot of the Amongst the Low and Empty a little bit. So I did kind of like it. If this is what Village Arta sounds like, I'm kind of all for that. Um, yeah, I did like this song. What did you listen to this one and what did you think of it?
I didn't listen to it. I just sampled it right now. And I mean, yeah, it sounds like Voljarta. What's crazy is this is like it's the same dude. It's Buster Odin, Odieheim or some shit. He does Humanity's Last Breath also.
Oh, okay. Is that the
So
one that
that's
came out with the
basically,
song Valdring or whatever?
yeah, Vald. Oh, dude, I love that song. That song kicks ass. Shit, what is that song called? That's gonna drive me nuts now. Voldring or some shit.
Valdendring or something like that?
Um, wait, let me look real quick. They just dropped a new song too, Anthracite, that we forgot, I think, to put on the rotation playlist. Valdi was the album of 2021.
Hmm.
Valde. It made a lot of top charts. But my favorite song from that was Vittring. That's right,
Ah,
Vittring, and it's like the real progressive kind of tom, like the dude's just fucking pounding toms throughout it. Dude plays drums too, Buster. I don't know if he did the drums for that album or wrote it or,
hmm.
writes the drums, but for both bands even, I don't know. But I know he's like the mastermind behind Viljarta and Humanity's Last Breath. I
Okay.
mean, they're just two different things. I mean, I think Viljarta has other members, but Humanity's Last Breath, I want to say, is mostly written by Buster. Could
Okay.
be wrong. I don't know.
That would make sense because I feel like Village Arta is a very different vibe musically. Like, yes, it's still like I feel like the production and the tone's kind of the same, but what they're doing is very different. It feels like because I feel like I wouldn't say Humanity's Last Breath. I wouldn't say is it's not gent because they're not doing like the brown, but it's a lot of like open space, like monolithic kind of chords,
Oh, sure.
taking up
Yeah.
the space.
It's
So I
like
feel like,
almost atmospheric in its own way.
hmm
Like,
yeah,
but
because I remember
yeah,
that was the thing that stuck out for me because I remember you sent me that music video I think for that Velte or whatever it is. And that was the kind of the stand up part is like there's not a lot of notes being played, but it's these giant sounding chords, and then like you said, the toms are just kind of like adding to that suspense of the building to the
yeah.
bigger, and it's gonna get bigger
It's
and
like
stuff.
it's got that like tribal element to it,
Mm-hmm.
like the ride up and shit. So
Mm-hmm.
good. I love that song. And even the lyrics are badass. It's basically like this dude just tripping out. Sounds like he's like ODing on heroin. It's like senses heighten, eyes roll back, or something like that. I know that's like two of the
Hmm.
lines, but it's really cool. And I love the vocal delivery. That's what's like makes it so eerie. It's like really dark lyrics like that, but then like you have that dude's vocal style, like just a low, like kind of barely like growling it. Oh, it's just so fucking badass. But anyways, I guess what I was getting to is Viljarta. I don't know. I'm always just kind of Humanity's Last Breath over Viljarta. Viljarta's cool, but it's just I feel like a lot of their stuff sounds a lot more similar than you find in like the other side, Humanity's Last Breath.
Yeah.
For me, and it's like I hate to like pit them against each other, but they are you know kind of similar. Like the guitars are definitely there. I
Mm-hmm.
could definitely tell, but um, I don't know. Yeah. So this one just kind of sounded like Viljarta to me. I guess is what
I
I'm
gotcha.
getting at.
Well, if you're
Sorry.
interested in some new Village Arta, check out plus sign question mark regnet comma the question mark
Mm,
plus.
that's the other thing. It's like why you got to do that? Why is that your
Yeah, I
fucking
don't know.
song title? Like, come on, man. Don't
Yeah, it
you want
looks.
your people to talk about your songs? How are they gonna fucking talk about that one? You
It
know, the
sounds
plus sign comma question mark song.
also. How do you announce that? This is like. How do you get the crowd pumped? All right, we got a new one for you. This song is called plus sign
Plus
question
sign
mark
question
Remnant
mark
comma the
Ragnar.
question mark.
Yeah. Yeah.
It looks
I
like
mean,
they're
or
trying to
maybe it's just
code.
like yeah, yeah, maybe. Definitely could be possible. Maybe that's just their comic relief when they're playing live. I don't know. I've never seen them live, but that would be a good thing for them to do. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah. Up next, we have the new single from Gruesome, who's finally
Mm,
back. This is a band that is, it's the lead singer from, I can't remember now, but he's the lead singer of another big death metal band. I can't remember off the top of my head now. This is a side
hmm.
project that is more of a worship of early death. Um, so it's like the first two
Exhumed.
albums. That's it. I think it is Exhumed. But this is his side project, very much a worship of like early death. Like I remember they have an album that's very similar to, I think it's called Savage Lands. It's very similar to Scream Bloody Gore. They have another one that's very close to Leprosy. Um, they have an EP kind of close to Spiritual Healing. This is their apparently coming out with a new release for the first time in a long time.
Oh yeah.
New song is called A Darkened Window, and it's pretty much right back where Gruesome left off. Very death vibes, but still it's a new song. So it's, and also when it comes to death, I do love their early stuff more than I like their later stuff. I mean, I like tech death, but I feel like for me, death is better when they're more that meat and potatoes kind of style, and that's what Gruesome kind of brings to the
Sure.
table. So I love this style. It's awesome. Did you listen to this? And if you
I
did,
did.
what'd you think of it?
I didn't. I'm skimming it now, but I definitely like what I'm hearing. It's kind of like that uh, death and thrash or blackened thrash, or not really
Hmm.
blackened, but definitely got the thrash elements in the death metal. I'd say it's probably more death metal than it is thrash, but
Hmm.
I like how you can kind of hear that. Um, Sounds cool though, man. I dig it.
Yeah, Gruesome is an awesome project. I recommend people check it out. They also, I think it's on their Savage Lands album, a sick cover of Slayer's. One of my favorite early songs from Slayer. It's Black Magic, and they do the death
Oh,
metal style of it. Oh, it sounds awesome because it's
hell
still
yeah.
like the super cool pinch harmonics on the parts, but it's Gruesome's death growl vocals over it. Ah, awesome. Mwah.
Yeah, he's
Chef's
got sick
kiss.
folks. Hell yeah.
Yeah, check it out. A Darkened Window by Gruesome looks like an upcoming album. We'll probably review that when it comes out. Uh, Lastly for the singles, we have this is I thought this would just be fun. Leftover Crack is back. Um,
White
they're
guilt
back.
atrocity kilt
Yes,
or
White Guilt
quilt. Sorry.
Atrocity Quilt. If people aren't familiar with Leftover Crack, they are a kind of a crust punk band, kind of combining, um,
It's a
like
great name.
anarcho punk. Yeah, oh yeah, the name is great. Uh, this is their crust punk band that kind of combines elements of like anarcho punk with like ska, a little bit of metal. Um, and this is also the band. This band was thought up of after the folding of Choking Victim. It's very much similar vibe, very super offensive, but also very anarcho themes. Uh, Led by Stizza, and I guess they also have a second vocalist now, a female vocalist. I don't know her name. This is their new song. Looks like coming up for a new album. This is a lot more metalish than I'm used to from Leftover Crack, and I'm actually kind of digging it.
Okay.
The only thing that's kind of holding me back, which was before I never had a problem with, was Stiz's vocals. Uh, a little bit more annoying when it's in this like metal or death metal kind of setting that they're doing. Like before, it was fine. It was like that raw vibe, but now with like this heavier atmosphere, it's like, kind of sounds like an insect trying to sing punk style over like death metal. But other than that, I do kind of like the song. What do you think of this one if you checked it out?
I'm listening to it now. It sounds badass, man. The riffage is super sick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I dig it, and it's unique,
Mm-hmm.
for sure. I mean, I can't think of another style that sounds similar, you know.
Yeah. This is a
I don't know.
leftover
I'm
crack.
not really hype on like punk and stuff though, too. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
feel like I'm pretty distant from those genres, especially when they kind of meld with metal too. So
Yeah.
I don't
Leftover
know.
crack is one of those ones that I feel like can kind of um bleed over into the metal crowd because they are kind of that more extremity when it comes to the punk scene. Because I remember seeing when I went and saw Slayer the last time, the person in front of me had a uh, leftover crack back patch, and I thought it was the coolest
Mm,
thing ever. Because I that was the only
that is
time I've
cool.
ever seen another person who knew who leftover crack was in the wild.
Wow.
Because this is
Yeah.
it's a very niche band. But yeah, even I do love the name White Guilt Atrocity Quilt. I think it's funny.
Yeah. It is. Yeah. That's great.
Yeah, check out White Guilt Atrocity Quilt by Leftover Crack. Looks like an upcoming album. Yeah, check it out. Yeah, that
Sweet.
is it for the singles. Um, so now let's get into some albums. Like I said, this is all underground bands. For me, I'm going to pick
Ground.
as my favorite is going to be the very first one on the playlist, and that is the album called "We Belong in the Grave" by Crypts of Despair. We didn't have a
So good.
lot, so I only had three to choose from. But I do enjoy this one the most. This is it's a modern death metal with a little bit of atmospheric flavor to it. Um, very
Lithuania.
nice. Oh yeah, it is a band from all the way in Lithuania, formed in 2009. This is a killer vocals. They do a good job of adding to the atmosphere, but then like more of open spaces kind of in these songs, but then they come back with kind of crushing borderline breakdowns. Um, Top tracks for me is going to be Disillusioned, Seizures, Gaze of Adversary, We Belong in the Grave. This was a pretty good album. Did you check this one out?
I did, dude, and I liked it very much. This
Mm-hmm.
album is it rules. They're definitely kind of like is it like the mellow death? Is that in here? Like, do you hear that, or is that's a? I mean, when you think of
I
mellow
could
death,
probably
do you?
see. I think of like when it comes to Melodeath, I think of like Black Dahlia Murder and At the Gates.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I don't know. I, maybe not, but I don't know. Maybe like it kind of gets like similar to Thy Art a little bit.
Okay. Yeah,
But
I think I see what you're saying because I think what I was interpreting as atmospheric, yeah, I think I see what you're saying. We're listening to the same thing. I
yeah,
think it was just how I was, the mood I was in. I was like, oh, it's atmosphere. But I can
sure.
see it as like, no, they're actually just probably doing a lot more melodic kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'm not like surprisingly I'm not really familiar with At the Gates. I never really listened to a lot. So, but I've heard great things. I just a band that went under my radar. I don't know how, but definitely probably need to check them out. But this album, sorry, We Belong in the Grave, Crypts of Despair, totally badass, man.
Hmm.
I love the name and everything. But super sick, like riffs in this, drumming and the vocals just absolutely crushing, dude.
Hmm.
So low and so damn good. Like, it's great. Like, it really is. Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah. This is a great album. I also love the cover art. I think it ties
Yeah,
very well to the album or the album title. Uh,
super sick.
ch- yeah, check out Crypts of Despair's new album, We Belong in the Grave. Death Metal Dags approves. Um, Up next, we have the album by Buried Realm with their new album,
Mm.
The Dormant Darkness. Um, did you listen to this
It's
one?
yeah, this is a platter of riffs. I didn't listen to this as much as I really wanted to. Um, but I know that this dude is like a super shredder, and he has a ton of features on this album. Um, but I've only heard bits and pieces, but I really like what I am hearing. It's definitely super techy, super riffy, just kind of unrelentless.
Hmm.
What'd you think of it?
I wasn't too into it. I think it's just because it's not something like. What he's doing is he's very good at what he's trying to do. It's just for me, it's
Mhm.
not really up my alley. But I did kind of have this more in the background while I was listening to it, so I didn't have my full attention. But I did hear it was kind of a mixture between kind of clean vocals and screen vocals. I see it has a lot of Christian Alvis jam, and then also
Yeah, I think he
Bjorn
features a
Strid.
lot on it. Yeah.
And I know Bjorn is from In Flames, but I did kind of get like you were
Well,
saying with Crypts, kind of a
I
little
think
bit of a
that's
mellow
soil
death
work.
vibe. Oh, is it soil work? Okay,
Yeah.
I can see that.
I'm trying to think of who In Flames is. Oh, In Flames is Anders
Okay.
Frieden or something like that. But I'm pretty sure this is like I say him because I'm pretty sure that this is like a one man band sort of deal.
I
And
think you're
so
right.
I think he just had vocals throughout it. I haven't, like I said, I haven't listened to a lot of this, but I knew that he was like on social media posting about the features and stuff on it. And but yeah, man, I think it sounds ripping.
Hmm. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's just like I said, it's not up my alley. But if you're listening to this and this does sound like up your alley, check out Buried Realms: The Dormant Darkness. Um,
Oh, yeah.
like there's a lot of melodicness going on, a lot of tech going on, cool features on this. Check it
Has a
out.
lot of melody. You almost kind of turned into a Trump there.
Has a lot of
Very
melody. Believe
melodic.
me, I walked in and I said, "Wow, that's a lot of melody."
It's buried realm. It's
With their
quite
new
melodic.
album, The Dormant Darkness.
Sorry.
Uh,
Couldn't help it.
up next, we have the debut full length. They have a couple EPs, but this is their debut full length album, Nullified by the
Oh
band
yeah.
Brainstem. Um,
Intergalactic cattle.
yeah, it's odd, but I kind of like it. I don't mind it too much, especially for me, the shining part, we talked about this before we started recording. The big part for me was the lyrics. The lyrics stuck out the most for me, especially on the Intergalactic Cattle because I had the lyrics on Spotify.
Oh, that's so
I
nice.
thought the lyrics were shining through the most. It was the lyrics of Intergalactic Cattle was very cattle decapitation ish because it had very descript uh stories of like humans being treated just like how cattle are treated. Like it was talking about mothers being milked for eternity, infants being shoved into cattle carts as tight as they
Mm,
could, and the fathers being kind of cut up for meat and stuff. It was very well done. The lyrics, the musically, I would say this is kind of straightforward modern death metal with a little bit of technicality in there. Not like super technical, not like Buried Realm or like Cytotoxin from last week. It's kind of more of
mm.
a subtle technicality in it, but it's still pretty good. For me, top songs obviously it's got to be Intergalactic Cattle. They also have Unnatural Selection, The Blood Witch, Devoid of Life. It's not a bad album. I recommend everyone check it out. Sick album art. This is their debut.
Yeah.
This band only has 499 monthly listeners. This band
Oh
probably
yeah.
needs more.
Oh yeah.
So you know what? Hop on the Brainstem train before they get bigger, so you can say, "Yeah, I knew them when they were smaller." Do it
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, it's like such a badge of honor.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I
dude,
knew
I
them
seen
when they
these
only
guys.
had 499 listeners.
Yeah, I seen these guys playing down at the old ice house.
I miss it back when you guys sounded like the Nullified album.
Yeah.
You guys changed.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Dude, yeah, it looks sick. It looks super sick. I love the album art.
Oh yeah. I
And
thought it
they
was
got a
going to
cool
be
name. It's a
yeah.
great name.
I'm not gonna lie, with the band name and how the album art was looking, I thought it was gonna be
Hmm.
so technical, my head was gonna hurt, kind of like the band Artificial Brain. That's kind of the sound I was
Oh,
expecting. Have you ever listened to Artificial Brain?
well, I think I've heard like maybe a song or two, not
They
like
got
a
like
lot.
their most recent album, like a couple of years, I want to say it was like 2023. It came out and it got like universal praise. I saw like a lot of people talking about how it was like the best album of the year. And I listened to it
Oh
and I
shit.
can't listen to it without getting a headache. It's very
Hmm.
technical but also dissonant. So
Okay.
imagine like the sounds that Smigra, that one weird atonal band that uh your buddy sent us with the
Fucking
Minotaur
Sean.
on it. Yeah.
So it's up Sean's alley. So this is a wreck for Sean.
Oh yeah. If Sean likes Smikra, I guarantee he'll love Artificial Brain. It's Smikra, but
He's
with
probably sent me.
super technical.
He's probably sent me some artificial brain. I wouldn't doubt it, most likely. But he like I remember that hierarchies. Do you remember that shit?
What was it?
It was a release last year. Hierarchies. Shit. I'm trying to. I don't know if that was the album
Did we
name
cover
or.
it?
Yeah, it was on a playlist.
Was that the name of the album or
Apparently,
the name of the band?
I think that was the name of the album. I could be wrong. It might be the name of the band.
I don't
I don't
remember.
know. Yeah, I don't know that we're doing him any favors right now. But anyways, yeah, it's probably that kind of shit. But anyways, yeah, I don't know. Try. Sorry, not trying to go on a derailing, shit talking role here.
Yeah,
But
speaking of shit talking, I'm about to talk about this new Crimson Armada EP.
oh, okay.
Did you listen to
Shots
this one
fired.
at all? A little bit. Did you listen to this
Okay.
one?
No, I didn't. Good or
Um,
bad?
so so I will say I'll start off with a good. I'll do a good
Okay.
and bad. Um,
Okay.
musically, I think what they're doing is very good. I think there's a lot of cool riffage going on. It's cool guitar work. Um, I do think some of the song structures are done very well done. I especially liked Ancient Call, Revelations 2. Even Man of the Beast had parts that I liked. Um, so yeah, I do think this is music writing. Like I would love to see this stuff live. I think it would be awesome. That's the good. The bad. Um, I am not understanding. I'm not a producer. I just record, edit, and mix a podcast. But I've done enough of that to listen to this and think, what the fuck are they doing and thinking with some of this stuff? Because it sounds like, especially present on the song Ceremony. It sounds like all the instruments are recorded all together, separate from the vocals. And then they added bass drops and equalized the whole thing. Because whenever a bass drop happens, all the instruments get super quiet and you hear them
uh,
slowly fade back in mid riff. It
yeah,
sounds like it
you
sounds
know
like
what?
shit.
Like, it's so interesting you brought that up because I was actually listening to. That's the band I was going to bring up. I forgot about it earlier. It's great you said that. Extermination Dismemberment. So
Yes.
they had a release last year. I can't remember if we covered it or not, but it was like it's called the or Butchering Basement or Butcher in the Basement. I don't know, something like that. Or Basement Butcher Shop maybe. Fuck, I don't know. But anyways, they have a ton of those in their music, and I mean a ton. And like to a point where I was just like mowing the yard and I was jamming that, and I was just like, dude, come on, another one? Because it's like, and it like gets quiet and it's like like fades back in. It's like, what the fuck are you gonna like? That's not happening live unless I mean I guess if you're programming the shit to happen, but it's so obnoxious. And it's just like if you're gonna tone out the music, like I just don't get it. I don't understand it. It's obviously someone with the thought of just like let's put the most fucking ridiculous bass drop. I want it to smash and break speakers. It's like, why, dude? I don't understand it.
That makes me because that's the only thing I didn't listen to new Extermination Dismemberment. The only song I know about them was kind of what got them popular, and that was Omnivore, and that was solely because they have this like black hole sized bass drop in the middle of their song, to where it's fun just to listen to, especially like you turn up as loud as you can. Like the song's okay. Like they have a couple of bass drops, like, ooh, that's tasty. But then this big one comes and it's just like it's almost like you
It's
can't
like
recover
you're
as the
watching a
listener.
movie.
It's like it reminds me of when we had those old VHSs whenever you start a movie and the whole THX and just the ear
Yeah.
and it just blows your eardrum. It's so loud it
Yeah.
sounds like the
It's like,
band is recovering from the space drop in
yeah.
externity.
Yeah. I know. It's just like, oh shit, that was too much for the system. It's got to reboot, regen. Yeah, it like takes full fucking like 2-3 seconds. It's so noticeable. It's ridiculous. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
that's kind of how what's going on in the song Ceremony. Like literally, and it's so present, but it's also annoying because it's not like the bass drops are like super deep. Like I do think like because it seems to happen like as soon as they hit the snare, and then whenever it kicks in, it's awesome. But you notice everything gets super quiet, and then you hear the guitar like doing a chug, and the volume will raise mid chug. It's super noticeable, and it sounds super like your
Forced.
band. Yeah, it sounds like the band like had a great idea when they were writing it, and the producer's like, "Oh, that's cool, but I only give a shit about three things. I give a shit about bass drops, breakdowns, and vocals. Nothing
Yeah.
else matters." And the weird thing is, Joey Sturgis is featured on this EP, and if anyone knows who Joey Sturgis is, he is the like big name producer for Chugcore, pretty much. Like he was the producer
Oh,
for almost all the Delaware Prada, Asking
wow.
Alexandria, Attack, all those like crabcore bands, which that was their bread and butter was bass drops, chugging, and then the vocals. So for him to be on this and not be able to like smooth out that equalizer part blows my mind.
Yeah.
But other than that, the new EP Ceremony by Crimson Armada. Musically, I
Yeah.
would love to see this live. Uh, Listening to the digital release or the physical version, I don't know, maybe the physical version sounds better, but how it is on Spotify right now, I would probably only stick with Revelations 2 and Ancient Call. Those sound like the somewhat better because it doesn't sound like the bass is rebooting the program like you were saying when it happens. But yeah, that is Ceremony
Sounds
by
pretty
Crimson
sick.
Armada.
Like
I would.
I'm rolling over it right now. I'm just like, damn, it's got a sick groove.
Mm-hmm. It. That's the thing is, it also sounds like the vocals are recorded separately from everything else. So it seems like there's a special
Yeah.
emphasis on the vocals. But with that, I almost get tired of the vocals sometimes. Like sometimes it sounds like his voice is. It's not. He's very throaty. Like he has a cold. Like he has a bunch of mucus in his
Hmm.
throat. Like I can hear it so distinctly, and it's to where it gets a little annoying. But I do still like what they're doing. Nothing against Crimson Armada.
I mean, it sounds like Crimson Armada, you know?
Hmm.
Sounds like the Crimson Armada I discovered, which makes me happy. That's pretty cool. Hell yeah. Well,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so
That's it for our new week playlist. There was a new
concludes our
song
week.
I didn't put on this playlist. I don't know if you checked out because I don't know if you really listen to this band, but the band, a band I love, Full of Hell, released a new song. I think it was either
Mm,
today or yesterday.
I did
It's
listen to
called.
that.
Oh, you did? What did you think of it?
Yes. I thought it was good, dude. It's Full of Hell. They're kind of one of those bands that's just like they haven't really been tangible to me in like you know, in their popularity, really. I mean, a lot of people dig them. I never really caught on to them, but this song just seemed real, I could obviously see what's going on, and yeah, dude, it's badass. Knight's Oath.
Hmm.
Yeah. But I
Yeah.
definitely digged what I was hearing.
I gotcha.
What'd you think of it?
Um, I was kind of a different vibe. I mean, I didn't mind it. I didn't hate it or anything like that. I do. It is good. It's just this. It wasn't the because what I love about Full of Hell is just the intensity, and I didn't feel like this song
Yeah.
had the intensity that Full of Hell typically brings. Um, Also, I find it weird that they're already coming out with another new song. It looks possibly like they're building up to another new album when they came out with a new album last year, Coagulated Bliss. I think it
Mm,
came out before we started. Otherwise, I probably would have tried to talk about it. But even then, I've I haven't been as engaged with Full of Hell. I feel like there's a sweet spot in their discography with Trumpeting Ecstasy, The Weeping Choir, and Garden of Burning Apparitions. Those three albums I think are sick as fuck because they have that full intensity, and that's what I love about the Acacia Strain feature that they're on. Like it's
mm,
that dun dun, and then all of a sudden his intense high vocals I thought fit perfectly. I love Full of Hell with that intensity and just that chaotic scream. That's what I love about Full of Hell.
yeah.
This one felt more like,
It's almost like a Dark Throne, like kind
hmm
of like punkish ride, dude.
yeah,
I
it
dig it. Like cool
that's what was so
vibes,
weird.
you know.
It was so
Yeah.
different than what I'm used to from Full of Hell, which I guess I shouldn't be too surprised because they always are kind of very experimental with their sound. So I shouldn't be too surprised. I'm just hoping this isn't the direction they're going.
I just remember like I first was exposed to them with a video and the guy fucking playing trumpet like comes out of nowhere and I'm just like, what the fuck is this? Like they were my first kind of Imperial Triumphant band now. Like how I feel about that band. Not necessarily with the most recent album, but in their early years is how I initially felt about Full of Hell. Like I seen them and I was just like, you just come up into chaos, don't really know where to headbang, and then this guy with the fucking trumpet just pops out. I was like, what in the fuck are you guys doing? And yeah, and that just put such a bad taste in my mouth that I didn't really thoroughly inspect their music for years, and then yeah, this is really the first one in a long time that I've jammed and really dug. So,
I
but
gotcha.
I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I
hopefully.
think this new album is going to be called Broken Sword, Rotten Shield.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think I've seen that. It is building up to a new album. Yeah.
That would, so I do feel like this band is super busy because if they aren't releasing full length albums, they always are doing like splits. They have a shit ton of splits, and
Mm,
they even recently, I think it was last year or the year before, did a split with Nothing, which I don't think I listened to, but I think that would be a cool one. The one that I think is the best combination is the Full of Hell Primitive Man split they did together. Suffocating
mm.
Hallucinations. That is a combo
I think I did
I
listen to that
love.
one.
Yeah, it's the suffocating heaviness of Primitive Man with the intensity of Full of Hell. Ah,
Yeah, dude,
awesome.
that dude is he's a freaking beast of a sound.
Hmm.
His vocals are just so mean. Just like, damn, man,
And they
brutal.
do a good job of even just the vibe of the band, both the titles of the songs and the album artworks, and just the vibe. It's just this whole dreary, miserable doom sound with Primitive Man. Love it. Love it.
Oh yeah.
But yeah. Is there any other news stuff that we might have missed that you want to talk about?
If you're into the band Hate, they're kind of dropping singles like crazy. I think they've dropped two now in the past couple weeks. I've been meaning to put them on the playlist, but I've forgotten both times. But this is the band Hate from UK or some shit like that. No, sorry. They're from let's see. Um, well, I was hoping Spotify would tell me. Doesn't look like it's gonna tell me. No, no. They're from somewhere out there, but they just toured, I want to say the States. Been around since '91, very long time. But this is the new album, um, Bellum Regis. or that's the single they just dropped. But they also have another single, Iphigenia. Iphigenia. But yeah, anyways, I scoped those out. Those sound pretty sick. So yeah, looking forward to that new album. Other than that, man, I don't think I think that's about it. Um, let me see. Let me see if I'll just scope my release radar. I haven't been on my release radar on Spotify in a minute. It pretty much has everything we covered. It looks like we missed a Marilyn Manson in the air tonight. I guess he covered that.
Oh, really? I don't know about you, but I absolutely hate that
Weird.
song. But is
Yeah,
that
I
Phil
do too.
Collins?
Yeah, and you know what? Like, I feel like a lot of my friends really respect Phil Collins. Like, I've never heard a friend ever bash Phil Collins' name, but like, I feel so different. Like, I kind of hate Phil Collins. I hate his voice. I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know. I've never been a Phil Collins fan. Even Genesis. I don't really care for Genesis. Every time I hear that fucking it just kind of pisses me off. I just instantly get annoyed because I feel like I hear it so much in grocery stores and Walmart, and I'm just like, oh, really puts me in a bad mood.
I don't mind
I-
Phil Collins that much. It's just that song specifically, I would hear
mm,
all the time, especially at like football games. Like
yeah,
it was supposed to expect me to pump me up, but I remember thinking it's like this entire song's a build up to a 2 second drum fill, and builds up to almost nothing, pretty much. It's boring.
yeah,
I don't get it. It does not pump me up, and if anything, it dampens my mood.
yeah, yeah. It's very low impact kind of climactic moment, you know. And then it just goes into a chill, you know. It's not really big, but I mean, I guess it's got a good beat, and I mean, it is catchy. That's like the most tolerable song for me. It's like everything else. I'm just like, I really liked Tarzan as a kid growing up, but then like every time I heard his voice come in, it just kind of like tarnished the movie for me. And I don't know, just something about his sound, man, really irks the shit out of me. And it's like so echoey. Like every Phil
Yeah.
Collins song is like so echoey. I'm like, dude, this guy just loves fucking reverb, man. She's like, I want you to record me in a cave. It's like, geez, man, it's crazy.
I don't know if you remember, but I always think of the South Park where they had Phil Collins, and every time he was walking around, he was always walking around with an armful of Grammys, and he was talking about how he's gonna play it La La Pa La La La.
I don't know if I've seen those ones or not. I can imagine though.
Yeah, it
South
was
Park's
a
so great.
old season.
Oh man. But yeah, never been a real fan of that dude.
Yeah, agreed.
I mean, I don't doubt his talent, and I mean, obviously, crazy successful, but
Yeah,
yeah,
not
not
my
my tea.
bag.
Yeah,
Yeah, you ready to move on
but
to some metal news? We got some this week. Some
I
big
think
news.
so. Yeah, there's a lot of juice going around, man. Oh, some bad juice too. Uh,
Let's get right into it.
Metal news.
All right. Do you want to, because you're the one who told me about this one, do you want to break the aborted news?
oh, geez. Yeah, it's bad day. Bad day for Ken Bedeen fans. I think that's his name, right?
I thought it was Paradis.
No, Kevin Paradis is their replacement.
Oh, okay.
Ken Bedeen was the ex drummer of Aborted, and Kevin Paradis has been granted this new drummer spot in the band. So yeah, which I think well deserved. And those two bands, Aborted and Benighted, honestly, like they are so damn similar.
Hmm.
They almost have their own genre. It's like I'm pretty sure I've referred to them like on as this on the show, but like that cocaine death metal. When I think of those two bands, that's exactly who I think of. Or when I think of that genre, that's who I think of. But so, anyways, I think it's very fitting. Obviously, I think it's we were all wondering if he was going to get that Arspire spot or not.
Hmm.
And there's definitely some lag time after his audition, so I was like, man, what's going on? But so yeah, obviously he didn't get that one. But yeah, so the big news with this is the allegations. The allegation cloud has found its new victim, and I guess obviously he's not a victim, but a victim of his own stupidity. So yeah, Kembadine. Um,
Yeah, because what was it? He
Shitty
was
day for
texting
that guy.
minors after they
Yeah,
explicitly said, "I'm a minor."
yeah, yeah, yeah. Not good. And he was, I think, told by a friend or something like, "Hey, she's a girl," or something like that. And he's like, "Oh yeah, no, don't worry about it." No, I'm kidding. I'm not putting words into his mouth, but yeah, no, that's crazy, man. Crazy stupid. But yep, that happens. And yeah, so I guess his social medias are deleted and whatnot.
Yeah, understandable.
Yeah,
Fuck him.
yeah, yeah. And then yeah, Muir have stated they have never been a deathcore band, never will be. How does that make you feel? Does that make you
It
sad?
makes me feel no, it makes me feel nothing because I feel like it's just Frankie being, hey, no one's paying attention to me. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me.
He's like, hey, I'm still here.
Keep talking about me. I'm still an asshole.
I am still here, motherfuckers. And no, we're not deathcore. It's like, shut up. Just
We
shut
don't
the
have new
fuck up.
music right now, but pay attention to
Yeah,
us.
right, yeah. No, my guitarist is not going to Tony Danza. He's not starting that again. We are a Muir, but we're not deathcore. Okay. Anyways,
So what
I
would
don't
he
even know
call
that
his?
that
What would
deserves
he call
spotlight.
himself then?
Yeah, avant-garde. I don't know.
New
Um,
metalcore?
yeah, yeah. I don't know. Bad to the bone core.
Badass core?
Yeah. Cool core. Um, and it's a somber day in the cattle camp as we must announce the departure of our bass player and buddy Olivier Pinard. He has decided to focus his shift back to his home band Cryptopsy and his personal life.
Ooh.
So there's light at the end of the tunnel for that guy. And Cryptopsy fans. So I never even knew that like until this post. But goes on to say, being in two touring bands is very demanding on a human, and while we are sad to see him go, we more than understand. We wish Ollie the best of luck, and be sure to check out the new song they just dropped and pick up their new album when it comes out. Hell yeah, go Cryptopsy. Filling in for the upcoming EU tour will be our friend Diego Soria of Broken Hope. You may have seen him on the Chaos with Carnage tour or multiple other tours and shows over the years when he stepped up and filled in for us. So yeah, that is from Cattle Decapitation to their social media, and I I kind of forget when this dude joined in with them. I know he did the last record with him. I don't know about the one before it though. Death Atlas, maybe.
I don't really know. I don't really keep up with the members outside of like Travis Ryan and Josh Elmore. I know they have a new drummer for Terrasite, simply because of a podcast. I don't know anything about the bassist
Oh
though.
really? It's not that. I thought their drummer's been the same dude, Gabe Serbian.
No, he died.
Oh shit! Wait, hang on. Is that the Cattle drummer?
He was like a drummer a long time ago, and he died. I think last year or the year before. Because he was also the drummer for the Locust,
Oh, he
Retox.
drummed. Oh shit! 2022. Damn. Wow, I'm an idiot. Sorry.
You're good.
Holy
Yeah,
shit.
Gabe Servian was a beast. He was in a lot of great bands. Yeah, he died.
Damn.
Yeah,
Rest in peace, man.
2022. Yeah, he was in Locust, Cal Decap, Holy Molar, Zoo, and Headwound City, and Retox.
I'm trying to see what albums he did. Well, I don't know, man. I thought Cattles had the same drummer for a hot minute. I just don't know when this guy was in the band.
He was in
You know what?
Cattle Decap from 96 to 2001.
Oh, okay.
So actually, I'm also wrong because their drummer has been the drummer since 2007.
Okay, yeah. See, that's what I thought.
Dave
Dave McGraw.
McGraw.
Dave McGraw. Okay. All right. Well, anyways. So, sorry. Anyways, got sidetracked there. But yeah, that guy, I had no idea he was in Cryptopsy also, but that's pretty badass.
Hmm.
Obviously, two killer bands. Um, and I don't doubt that this is going to hold up Cattle Decap by any means. Those dudes always have
Yeah.
something stellar up their sleeves.
And hopefully that means a little bit of more touring flexibility for both bands. So that way they don't have to share. It's two pretty big bands. And so they don't have to share a member. I know they can probably just replace them, but I don't know. I feel like having a core member be in multiple bands that tour, not having that as an issue anymore would hopefully open up for more tour time. Even though both tour a lot, but I feel like Cal Decap doesn't tour a lot to Missouri. I
Mhm.
don't know. That's just my little
Yeah,
complaint.
I
Come to
think you're
Missouri
right there.
already.
I mean, I know, right? And I feel like they're a great Blue Room band, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I bet they could come close to selling it out. I mean, they probably could sell it out.
Mm-hmm. Or even I don't know. Would
What
they be
headline?
big enough for the pageant?
Oh yeah, I'm sure they've played there. Absolutely.
That'd be cool. Although I would
Uh,
also just love to even see him at like a small venue, like if could see him at Fubar if it was still around, or what's the Riot Room? I feel like the Riot
oh
Room would be
man.
awesome.
Oh, that would have been epic for Cattle, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I feel like they're almost too big for that, or were, when it was around. But I'm pretty sure Casey's getting a new venue. Didn't we talk about that recently? Or
I
maybe
think
over
we did, but
Messenger?
I don't know what it'd be called. What it's called.
Yeah, I don't remember either. I'll have to look into that. But I was just scrolling through our messages. I don't know that we ever covered this on the pod. That I sent you this from Buried Alive. It was on his Instagram, and he shared this picture and it says Jeff Loomis announces Charles Caswell, Buried Alive, as second lead guitarist in lineup overhaul of critically acclaimed supergroup Nevermore. What do you think of
Yeah.
this? Isn't that
I remember
crazy?
you showed me that. I don't know. I don't think we did talk about it, but yeah. I don't know. I don't mind Barry Live. I know he's a great guitarist. I feel like though it's kind of annoying a little bit because I feel like a lot of guitarists, internet guitarists, do this chase after that sound a lot, that very chaotic and tappy sound, which is nothing against him because I feel like he kind of started that. So I
He's
think he
so
would
good.
be good. Um, but I just want to see how he can coalesce with Jeff Loomis. Like, yes, you're
Mm,
doing craziness, but maybe we should stay away from that kind of craziness and just do what fits the song. What fits? I
yeah.
want to see if what he can do fits within the music that Nevermore's writing.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so interesting because he's such a prominent figure, like on social media and shit.
Hmm.
And so I was just, can't help but wonder, like, what's this role gonna be? Is he gonna be able to write, or is he just, playing what Jeff Loomis says, or are they collabing? I don't know. It's so interesting to me. But Charles Caswell's undoubtedly crazy talented, man. He's got
Hmm.
some badass fucking videos on his Insta. And he's got one of those pages that I can just like get lost in his reels. because he just comes up with these cool ass rhythms and melodies and stuff, man, and even beats. Like I feel like he makes beats with his riffs, or what, if that's what you call them, whatever he's playing. But he's also like, to a point, like this kind of troll character, because I've also seen him like teasing, like, or playing with like his followers, like, they say I can't play it live. And then, so like, it's a video of him playing it. But yeah, you're also sitting in your studio where everything's perfectly tuned to this perfect setting. You're not playing it live, you're still not. So like, he'll come out and like say that, make this video, that is badass, but then like, you're still not playing live, dude. So like, what do you mean? You're not proving anything. Like,
Yeah.
but I don't know. He's undoubtedly like a badass artist, I think.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just thought that would be interesting.
Yeah. I do think that is my biggest gripe with those, because I see more and more videos like trying to be like Buried Alive, of people like kind of doing the similar vibe. Like they say I can't play this live, but it's just some random guitarist. But and that's again the issue is like you're just posting this online. Like that's not live. Like you
Right.
can do whatever you want in post production and cut kind of Frankenstein all the best takes and put them all into one kind of thing. So it's hard to tell if you actually are an amazing guitarist. Like you probably are, but at the same
Hmm.
time, I'm kind of tired of seeing these same videos over and over again from these other people. Buried Alive, I think he kind of adds a little bit of cooler value to it. Like
Hmm.
I think I saw
Well, like
one
the
that popped up
puns.
on him. I
The
don't really
puns are
think about the
crazy.
puns. I
How
love
does
his
he?
guitars.
I don't know how he's still generating titles for songs, like with fruit clearly in the title. It's nuts. I'm like, dude, how have you not ran out? That dude still has like berry fucking relations here and there. It's like banana jam, or I don't know. It's like, it's just ridiculous.
I
I
don't know.
can't think of a good one. I can't think
I,
of I can't think of a good one off the top of my head.
I saw one today. He had an LED guitar. Like the skin of the guitar was like LED. It kept like shining off and on all over the body and in the neck, which I thought was that was
Yeah,
the coolest part was the neck. Um, Stuff like that I
he's
think is
got
cool. So I think that
crazy
adds a little bit of
rigs.
flavor.
Yeah, all the lights and shit on his guitar. I'm just like,
Hmm.
looks like he's playing like $50,000 guitars. They're probably more than that, honestly. With how much shit is all over him, yeah, it's crazy. That dude's nuts, though.
I do have some other news. Kublai
Okay.
Khan announced a headlining tour with,
Ooh.
let me pull it up. Wasn't super amazing bands, but I think it kind of fits their vibe a little bit. I know Gideon was one of them.
Hmm.
Um, Let me pull that up real quick. They are coming to Kansas City, so it's not one of those like, oh, awesome tour, nowhere near us kind of thing. Here it is. So it's Gideon, Drain, and Guilt Trip, and they're
Hmm.
coming to Kansas City on October 14th at the Uptown Theater. So actually a pretty big venue.
Hmm. Yeah, it is. Damn, dude, that'd be badass.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't listened to Gideon in a long time, but last I did listen to him, I remember there was something cool about him. I don't know if I mean, they're clearly not in my rotation, so I don't know if like there's something I didn't go back for, but I don't know.
I know their
It'd
newest
definitely
album,
be
they kind of
interesting.
went to like cowboy style.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I
Huh.
want to say it's like a cow skull with some barbed wire around it, and Ian wears like a cowboy hat now. I don't know, a little
Oh,
weird, but I still think it would be cool to see live. Especially
sure.
just to see Kublai Khan with a
Oh
super long
yeah, dude.
set.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they got so many great songs to make it set from now.
Mm-hmm.
That would be so badass.
Get to see Amp Pile 2 live.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, that's all the metal news I have. I feel like I had more, but that's all I can think of right now.
Yeah. I sent you, we went back and forth on those couple of things. I was like, "Ah, shit, dude. Me and Jeff got like an hour's worth of material to talk about." Never
I
seems like
mean,
it's
um, So there's something I've been wanting to talk about.
Oh, the thing?
Yeah, do you think it's when it comes to your kids? So obviously there's a little bit of like wiggle room with it, but how much sassiness is too much
Hmm.
sassiness when it comes to your kids?
Oh, like them to me, like attitude.
Just either or, because like there's
Well,
to you, but there's also to your wife or just in general. Like if you,
oh yeah.
I feel like there's different
Well,
levels.
I mean, you couldn't have picked a better week to ask this question because I'm getting so much sass. It's ridiculous. And I mean, I'm starting to get the I don't like you and I hate this. I hate you and blah 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 and like I hate you is like oh fuck no you didn't. And moment for me cuz I'm just like I don't think so man. Like, I got to nip that shit in the bud now because already getting this shit dude like I expected it for in the teenage years. But it's just like, really? Like before 5? That's crazy to me. You're already talking shit like that before 5. And so, yeah, man, it's just already starting to get battley. And Stella, she's 2, but she's already picking up on the attitude her sister kind of puts off here and there. And she doesn't mimic it to a T, but she like resorts to, I don't like you. And then she'll like stomp off. And her move is she'll turn around and like just like quickly like spit out her tongue or literally just do like a like and then just like all frowny face walk off and I can't help but laugh because it is hilarious. Like this 2-year-old's just spitting all kinds of attitude at me. It's so funny though. But I don't know, Stella's I can laugh up, man. Lux, she's been getting under my skin, dude, like crazy. Just like man, so challenging already, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's where I draw the line is when the big words like that come out, the real strong words, and I just kind of stick to my rules that I learned in prison, isolate the threat, contain the threat, de-escalate the situation, and it's
Pepper
like a step by
spray.
step. Yeah, oh yeah, full douse pepper spray, especially if they get combative. No, but yeah, it literally is like a step-by-step process, that I just kind of take to assess the situation. As ridiculous as it sounds, but it's just I don't know. It works. I mean, I feel like a lot of that, a lot of it, the outbursts are for attention, eyes that are in the room, and so whenever I feel like she is isolated, I take her to a room, talk to her. It's just me and her, it's one on one. And then it's just like, why are you acting like this? Why are you saying that?
Mhm.
Or it's just like, you don't leave this room. And then I just leave. But it's just, I don't know. It's always something right now. And this past week, man, it's been a doozy. But yeah, I don't know. What about you, man? How are you handling things?
It comes and goes. I think it so it's most of the sassiness is just coming from our daughter Annie. She's about to turn 7. And
Mm,
most of the sassiness comes from her dealing with her brother. And I love Jen's her older it's younger, but her it's the middle child, Jensen,
mm,
the my oldest son. They are close in age and they're always bickering. And Jensen has his own things going on to where he knows he loves to cry to just get what he wants or just throw a wrench in the gears and just fuck everything up. Just be like,
yeah.
nope, we're doing this now, kind of thing. And, or if he just doesn't want to do something, he'll cry to get someone to do it for him. And usually we'll rely on Annie to like, hey, Annie, help him buckle a seatbelt or stuff like that. And she gets so annoyed because she knows he's full of shit. And so I hear a lot of her giving him sassiness. There's a little bit of that, but then there's also times where she'll hang out with her friends who are a little bit older, like her niece, my nieces are all great, great kids, my siblings. They're great parents, so it's nothing against that, but it's just that they're older kids, so they have a little bit of sassiness when they talk amongst themselves. So her hanging out with them, she's kind of picked up a little bit more sassiness and acting like she's
Mm,
older. And I think it's also a combination of since Annie's kind of already been kind of growing up so fast and kind of been
that's
treating her,
crazy, man.
yeah, kind of been treating her a little bit more like on her, getting on her level. And so with that, more sassiness has been coming out since Easter, to where Danny got pretty angry today, understandably because of how Annie wanted to. It's just certain like head movements, like I ain't gonna do that, like stuff like that. It's like absolutely the fuck not. You will.
Oh,
It's just a lot of like
it's
thinking
hilarious.
she knows better, or if she's in
Mm,
charge, or yeah, we said that, but it's like no, we don't give a shit. No, but this is it,
yeah,
kind of stuff.
right.
So
I
there's a
know
lot
they
of
pull the
that.
butts out like crazy.
Hmm.
I'm like,
Like
I'm like, finish your food. Well, but I'm like, no, there really ain't no buts here. I mean, it's your food. It's on the plate, and you're right there. So finish your
Yeah,
food.
the food is always a bigger thing. It's the food and
Oh, dude.
homework because I always hear the same things. And there's a certain phrase I try not to say, but it's so hard to not say it. I don't think I've said it yet, but they always say, I don't want to, or that's pretty much the main thing is I don't want to. It's
Oh
not
yeah.
fun. And the thing that comes to mind it's the one phrase I don't want to say, but it's right there on the tip of my lips, and it's I don't care. Just do it.
Because I said so.
Because I don't want to sound like
Yeah.
I don't care about what they're feeling, but at the same time, it's like I don't
Yeah.
give a shit that you
Yeah.
don't want to. You have to do this.
Right. I know. I definitely know what you mean. Because it's just like, you just wish they would listen, you know? And like, I'm sure you say that. Like, I say that all the time. Just like, oh, I just wish you'd listen. And I'm just like, God, I sound so old, you know? Just makes you old to say that. But that is exactly what it is, you know? It's selective hearing, you know?
Hmm.
It's crazy. But yeah, the defiance, early onset defiance, it's a severe
Yeah.
condition that, you know, clearly they should be medicated heavily.
Yeah, but it's all we got to do. If we have a problem, we just got to get some medication for it.
Lean to our doctors. This is America.
I do think, sometimes I do think because we do kind of like recognize that she's getting older and it's blowing our mind how much older she's getting, more mature. And I think that's kind of getting to her head a little bit. Not in a negative way. It's like, I'm not saying it like, uh, man, that confidence is getting to her head. I need to stomp that out or anything like that. But
Yeah.
she is, she's smart and she seems to know it. And to where this past Sunday, she even kind of put together and told us that she knows that there's no Easter bunny. Like she knows it's
Mm.
us. And that was a
Ooh.
big pivotal moment. Danny started crying.
Well, yeah,
It's like,
because siblings are involved
well, we
too,
told
you
Jensen
know.
to get out because he didn't hear it. So we had to have a conversation about the Easter
Shh,
bunny.
Jensen, get out.
Yeah,
We
pretty
had a
much how it
serious
went. It's like,
conversation.
Jensen, go to your room. You're not in trouble. Just go to your room. Just get out of this room right now.
It's like, I
Um,
want to know.
well, he didn't care too much. Like, go upstairs. You can put on TV if you want. Oh, okay. And that'll get him right out. But yeah, I had a conversation about the Easter Bunny, Tooth Fairy, uh, Santa. Um,
That's a pretty big deal. So, how did you? I bet you had to make a split decision in a moment's time. You know, you're
yeah,
just like, okay, do I lean truth? Do I continue story?
I heard. So Danny kind of took charge of it at first, because I just kind of heard him passing. I was just gonna like let it slide by. It's like, no, that's a Easter Bunny, but she did kind of put together so well. As like, uh,
You're like,
I
damn,
forget exactly
evidence.
what it was that she said, but she knew it was something about she. We asked her like, "How do you know?" And she can't piece together. It was like, "You guys knew that there was golden eggs this year. Um, you guys knew." Kind of gave us hints of where to find it
Oh,
with hot and cold, And
Damn, she's
also
like
I
putting you on
saw,
trial.
yeah, and she's like, I also saw a bag of candy up in your guys' room. It's like,
Damn, dude. She's got you guys down to a T.
yeah,
That's crazy.
she's very observant and is like, damn it, we can't just.
Uh,
But so sat her down.
yeah.
Danny sat her down, and she kind of brought up the other stuff, and that's when she kind of started crying. It's like my little girl's growing up so fast, and so I kind of stepped in, kind of finished out the whole Tooth Fairy Santa Claus, but also just letting her know, it's like, hey, keep the magic alive. Your kid, you still have to have a little bit of imagination. That's the joy of childhood,
Yeah,
and
in other
also.
words, around your siblings, shut the no.
And that's also why when we ask you what you want for these holidays, you actually tell us what you want.
Yeah, right. I know that's so funny you say that because I remember my mom taking me to a Santa in a mall one time when I was a kid. And like I'm pretty sure that's the thing that I did the entire year. You know, she would ask me, "What do you want?" I'm just like, "Don't worry about it. I'm going to tell the guy that matters most."
What did I
Okay?
tell you? What did I tell
Yeah,
a
like
middleman?
why do you need to know? I'm going to go to the guy. So just don't worry about it. You know, that's where my head was. And so like all Christmas leading up to it or all December I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know. But in my head I'm just like fucking Sony Walkman, Crazy Town CD, fucking Kid Rock. No, I don't know. I don't know what I said. I don't think it was Kid Rock. I never got a Kid Rock CD as a kid, but um probably would have been way cooler if I did, actually. But but anyways, so I did that all year, and then I remember telling Santa, like I gave him the rundown, dude. Like my sitting was like it was like 15 minute sitting. You know, it took forever. I was just like, yeah, I want this. If you can't do this, then please, get me this and maybe this to go with it too, and blah blah blah. And I could just see like my mom over there, like trying to like hear it, and all made sense years later. But yeah, pretty funny. And hounding me like after, like, so what'd you tell him? Like, don't worry about it. But yeah,
Yeah, a little bit of it makes you proud, but at the same time, it's crushing to
yeah, I
know
know,
that you
right?
that little
It's got to be like,
disillusionment.
oh, she's growing. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Because it's even we had to explain Todd, who's our elf on the shelf. I asked her, like, so what do you think Todd is? And she's like, I think he's a toy. Like,
damn,
heartbreak. Just
damn,
all that magic and all that effort. We'll still do the effort, obviously, but
she's growing, man. It's part of it.
and that also made me think because the next day, or it was later that day, Danny decided to put on a Titanic documentary, and the kids were actually kind of like interested in it,
Talk
and
about
it's like,
depressed.
and I wasn't really thinking of it that way, but I was kind of watching. I was like, if we want them to learn, why don't we just do it how we all learned it? Like, why don't we just put on Titanic? And I started thinking, I was like, actually, I was Annie's age when I saw Titanic.
Were you really?
Yeah, I went to the theater and
Damn,
everything.
that's crazy. Oh wow, damn.
My dad told me when to close my eyes, but yeah, I watched
I
Titanic when I
mean,
was about 7.
I think I think I watched it pretty young. I don't know if I was that young, but man, that's crazy. It makes me laugh because me and Lex have a core memory of our honeymoon weekend. We went to Branson and it was kind of raining out. It was on a Saturday. We didn't really have any plans. And so I'm just like got the stupid Branson brochure flyer things. It's like Titanic Museum. I was like, oh shit, that's like the thing we drive by. It looks like a big ship. They got like the fountain going. It looks like where it crashes at. It looks awesome. Yeah, I think it's like so I'm going into this thinking it's like a replica of the ship, because that's what I think would be the most cool thing. But no, like we go in and tickets weren't like crazy or anything, which was nice, but like we go in like very quickly, I learned that this is more of like a historic kind of
Mm-hmm.
explanatory deal. And I'm just like Shit, this is like getting sad so quick. And like every wall is just like, yep, this person died doing this. And it's like, damn. Yep, this little boy, 5 years old, died. Titanic. No, no, it's like, I don't know. It's just it is funny though, because like you go in and it's like a bunch of informational stuff, and then you go into the room and like all the guys are like playing the music, and they're like, "Yep,
Hmm.
they played this song while they sank." It's just like, "Oh, okay, great, yeah." It sounds super sad as shit. I'm like, God, dude, this boat ride must have been terrible. Oh my gosh, but I mean, it is cool. They have like some of the, I mean, I guess it's kind of weird, but they have like some of the life jackets from the actual ship and stuff like that on display. So I don't know. It was u- uber depressing. It
I
was a
like how they
uber
also try to
depressing
make it.
moment.
They try to make it like a fun game. It's like we're gonna give you a person who was on the boat. Do you live or die?
Yeah. And then yeah, you find out at the end if you live or die, and like 90% of them died. So it's just like at the end it's like, oh man, I don't know. I bet he could have lived, and then at the end it's just like, nope, died. Like, oh, okay. Well, yeah, I don't know. It is interesting, but I feel like it's highly advertised as a fun thing. Like even kids are going to this too, like with their families. So I just feel like it's not real kid friendly. Like they have like the little hand things where you can put your hand in
Hmm.
to feel how cold the water was when everyone died. And so it's just like see the moment everyone died, feel what it felt like to die
How
there.
long can you keep your hand in? They also have those platforms of the different parts of when it was at different things. Like, oh, isn't this wacky? Can you
Yeah,
hold on?
see if you can see if you can hold yourself up like one of the last survivors did moments before they died.
I think of, especially on that top one, is in the movie when the guy's holding on and he lets go and you see him fall and he hits.
And he has they have like a propeller on the carpet below it. Oh, it'd be hilarious. Oh man, but yeah, it's just crazy. It's a crazy thing. Oh, so yeah, definitely funny moment there. Oh man.
Yeah, we
So yeah, if you're in Branson, Missouri, and you're looking for the funnest trip of your life, you've got to hit up the Titanic Museum. It's fucking awesome. It is great for families.
if you're in for a wacky time,
If your family's
check
looking for
out this
something fun,
tragedy.
yeah. Oh, it's gonna gear you up for your next meal.
After that,
Uh,
check out the Ripley's Museum. It's pretty much the same thing.
yeah, believe it or not. Oh, oh
Oh,
man.
I did get a new whiskey.
Oh,
Four
nice. What you
Roses,
got?
small batch.
Oh, okay. I've seen that. I've not tried it.
It's it's good. This
Is it
is,
good?
I'd say, my second favorite. It's pretty smooth. It's
And
it's pretty good.
is it spicy or is it comparable to
Um,
anything?
it is a little bit of spice. I would say if you take Whistle Pig, but made it's not as smooth as Whistle Pig. There's when it's in your mouth, it's very smooth, but as soon as you swallow is when the burn comes.
Okay.
I'd say the burn is kind of somewhere between. I don't know. Burn is kind of more regular burn, but it's when it's if you hold it in your mouth, it's very smooth. It's not harsh or anything like that. So
Yeah.
I really like it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have to try it. I'm drinking
Yeah.
these stupid little Persecos. Persico? I don't know.
Okay.
It's hard cider is the only canned thing that I had in the fridge. I was kind of hoping for beer or something. I just haven't bought it.
I
Just kind of
gotcha.
more out of laziness than anything, really. I wish for beer, but I was just like, yeah, I'm like, I'm not going to the store for that right now.
Yeah, we ended up not watching the whole Titanic documentary because I decided I wanted to watch a different documentary, and Danny was in agreement because it was we're a little bit past it, but it was the 30th anniversary of the Oklahoma City bombing. So kind of
Ooh,
the same vibe. Um,
yeah. You know what? Like that's one that I do want to learn more about because I was so kind of numb to that. Like, was that what year was that? When did that
that
happen?
was 95, I think,
Okay, yeah.
94, 95.
I was so young, man, when that happened. I just remember it fucking a lot of shit up. And that was what, Kaczynski or something like that?
No, that was Timothy McVeigh.
Oh, okay.
So there's a whole chain of events. So, because I went to Oklahoma City for like a class or a meeting of some kind, and part of it was for like the fun class activity. They took us to the Oklahoma City Bombing Museum.
Holy
Um,
shit.
and that
Jeez.
was, you thought the Titanic Museum was sad. This one was like, there was no like wacky or fun. This was like, no, this is a serious fucking tour, and you're gonna take it seriously.
Oh,
Um,
man.
but it was
Jeez.
super educational. There's a series of events that kind of led up to it of why Timothy McVeigh kind of did what he did, not to justify it, but kind of his thinking of where this extremism came from. But I recommend everyone, if you have a chance, if you're in the Oklahoma City area, go to this museum. Um, I recommend not bringing kids, but it is a amazing museum because it kind of starts off with like kind of like the groundwork of like some of the stuff he was reading. He was reading like the Turner Diaries, which is like an extremist overthrow of the government kind of vibe, anarchist cookbook.
Mm.
This events of like Ruby Ridge and the Waco, Texas siege and stuff like that, kind of
Oh,
leading up
okay.
to it. And then you go into this room, which is where the tour officially starts and kind of goes in order, which was um, in the build. It was the building across the street. They were doing like a municipal town meeting, and it was like starting at 9 o'clock is when they started, and the bombing happened, I think, at like 9:02 or 9:03, and it's an audio recording of that, and then you hear the blast, and then
Holy
you're in
shit.
this room that's supposed to look like a typical like municipal room, and all the lights flicker and everything, and it's like sounds like it shakes,
Whoa.
and then you go into like this chaos of, and it goes down to every single thing. This person was stuck to here. Also, there's like a nursery on the first floor where the bomb went off. All these
Oh,
children's
jeez.
names and stuff like that. It's a very, like I said, it's
Holy
very
shit.
heavy, but I recommend everyone go to it.
Yeah, man, that's fucking crazy. Yeah, I don't know a lot about that one. Is that the one that was involved in like MK Ultra type shit, or
Uh,
am I thinking of
no, you're
someone
thinking of
else?
the Unabomber, I think. That was Ted
Yeah,
Kaczynski.
that's right. That's right. Um,
Yeah, this was
interesting.
Timothy McVeigh. He was an ex-army, either army or army reserves. Him and a couple of his buddies
Jeez.
were kind of getting into like the extremity groups. I want to say, I forget there
Just
was
radical
some,
type fucking groups or
yeah,
what?
kind of like small militias that were kind of like white extremists a little bit as well. Um,
Holy shit.
it was this whole thing, kind of like it's kind of like if you took like similar talks, like you always hear people talk about like, hey, the federal government's getting too big. Imagine that, but taken to the extreme, to where it's like, no, we must destroy it, because that was the whole reason he targeted that building. It was a federal building with a bunch of different agencies. It had DEA, ATF, um, CIA. Like it had like I want to say like 13 different federal agencies had
Wow.
offices in this building, and that's why he targeted it.
Oh my gosh. That's terrible, man. That's crazy. It had a crazy death toll too, didn't it?
Yeah, it was a lot, and like I said, there was the nursery slash daycare on the first floor. I think it had like somewhere between 12 and 14 children, and obviously all dead because they were right in
Yeah.
front of the kind of the U-Haul van they parked.
Jeez. Holy shit. Heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. My school, we went to like toy museums. in like a American Prairie type museum or inspired type deal. Very fun with like a space observatorium thing at the end. Like, and you're in like a room, you like look up at the stars. They play this kind of weird elevator type music type shit. That was cool. So yeah, I was fortunate not to go through any depressing things as a
Well,
youth.
well, this was for work. This wasn't. This was like a couple years ago that I did it.
Hmm.
Like in high when I went to school, we went to like an apple refinery in like Nebraska for that makes like apple cider and a World War I or II museum. It's whatever museums in Kansas City. Those are the
Hmm.
only museums I think we went to. And then when
World
I
War
was
II
in,
would have been crazy.
then I remember in when I was in high school, my parents took me to Washington D.C. and we went to the Holocaust Museum. That was also heavy, but I still think the how the setup of Oklahoma City's bombing museum was set up, that was probably the most heaviest because also it has a whole room of all the children's like the parents they left like either like a clothing item like their shoes or like their favorite toy as like a
Oh,
memoriam.
jeez.
It's very, very heavy.
Yeah, that sounds heavy, man. That's crazy. Oh,
But
damn.
yeah.
Well,
Um
anyways.
On to a lighter subject. You want to do this Carnifex
Yeah.
discography?
Yeah, let's do it. Damn.
Sorry to dampen the mood.
Well, this is a you know what? I kind of failed on my Discog homework. I thought we were doing Meshuggah again.
So I actually had not listened to their debut until this, as well as a lot of their later albums. So this band kind of coalesced more into where I actually listening to all of this, I actually don't think there's actually a fully bad album now. I'm getting
Yeah.
I understand this band a lot more now.
Oh my gosh, they have that many albums? Holy
So
shit balls.
this one isn't all this is these four are like demos and EPs.
Okay.
So I want to say it's 9 total.
Damn, dude.
That looks right. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. I
Oh,
did
so Dead
listen
in My
to.
Arms?
Yeah, Dead in My Arms is right here. Yeah, their
Okay.
debut. I did. So Spotify also has, if you go down all the way to the bottom, they have a couple of these demos, and I listened to, I think, one or two of them. One of them has the demo version of um, collaborating like killers, and it has that opens with that sample from 40-Year-Old Virgin. I might not have had sex, but I can still fuck you up. Which I've always wondered why they had that shirt. Now that makes sense.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
You know, what part is that in the movie? I don't even remember that.
that's where he's riding home on his bike after the poker game. After they all find out he's a virgin, they all laugh at him. So he's telling himself comebacks that he could have said.
Okay.
It's like I might not have had sex, but I can fuck you up. Yeah, that'd have been good.
It's hilarious. I love that movie.
But yeah, this is Carnifex, the deathcore heavyweights at this point. Who
For sure.
kind of came in, I feel like almost like a second wave. Um, I remember when I found them, I felt like they were more of like there was the A tier and there was the B tier. I feel and they're like obviously more C tier, D tier. I felt like they were the B tier. They were close, but they weren't up to the level of like Suicide Silence, Whitechapel, Job Cowboy, bands like that. But they were right there, kind of in the same vein, same uh, league as like Oceano, Chelsea Grin. But out of all those bands, I do feel like Carnifex has the best longevity and also the most consistency when it comes to their
Mm-hmm.
albums. They haven't really changed that much. I do think they've gotten better. They've incorporated a couple new things here and there, But in all honesty, listening to all this, they've remained very consistent in being good. So let's just get right into this. We
Hell
got
yeah.
start off with their debut, 2007's "Dead in My Arms." Um, like I said, this is probably the first time I've actually listened to this album because I got into this band later. Um, this is listening to this, it makes me think they were influenced heavily by Suicide Silence because it feels it has a lot of early Suicide Silence vibes.
Hmm.
Because they're kind of from this similar area, both SoCal. I know Carnifex is San Diego. I want to say Suicide Silence. They're not LA, are they? Or are they like it's somewhere SoCal, aren't they? Suicide Silence.
Orange County, I want to say, or fuck, I think. I don't know.
I'm not sure. I think
Damn, I
either
feel
way
like I
though,
used
there's
to
no
know.
way that
Definitely
how
Cali, but
yeah. I think either way, there's
Riverside,
no
I
way
think.
that this band wasn't influenced by at least going to early shows because I think it shows a lot in some of these riffage and this overall tone of this album, especially on songs like Slit Wrist Savior, These Thoughts
Sure.
Become Cages, Collaborating Like Killers. There's a lot of good meat on this album. I remember when I went and saw them, they were really good, but they played the song Slit Wrist Savior, and I thought, God damn, that sounds so fucking good,
Hmm.
especially live. Just those that dirtiness and the pinch harmonics that brand. Uh, it was awesome. Other good songs, "Lie to My Face," "Love Lies in Ashes," "Collaborating Like Killers." I'm gonna give this one probably a solid 8. What do you think of this one?
Hell yeah. I'm pretty much right there with you, man. I think that this album has that real nasty kind of just brashness that Suicide Silence brought to the game, with their debut, and I kind of agree. I think that similarities are definitely you can definitely hear that, but yeah, it's a solid album, man, especially for a debut, dude. It has one of their biggest songs, "Lie to My Face." I remember that was basically the first I had heard of this band, and it was absolutely crushing. Um, just completely brutal, man. One of the heaviest songs out, and this was kind of around the time of Somatic Defilement, Whitechapel. So they and Suicide Silence, I think they were all kind of getting getting some buzz around the same time, and going around the same group of friends and shit in high school. So um, yeah, I definitely dig this album. I think I'd probably give this one an 8 too.
Okay. So that's probably going to go right about. I'm going to put that right in the middle with a 16. All right. Also, I do want to because I listened to a podcast where the lead singer Scott Lewis was on. I didn't know. So the name Carnifex is like I think Latin for executioner or something like that. And it plays really well because since the Scott Lewis was originally a mortician, he
Oh,
used to
what?
work in a morgue. So I
Whoa,
can
I
kind
did
of
not
see
know that.
where, yeah, so I can kind of see where like these like it sounds cheesy, but these dark kind of view of the world, dark thoughts, and like this obsession with death kind of comes from with that kind of
Hmm.
background. So I do think there was a lot of anger, hatred, and kind of bleeds through, comes kind of like with the cleansing, to where it's like a whole build up, just if open the floodgates at all, kind of escapes at once, and kind of happens on this album as well, just like the cleansing with Suicide Silence.
Hmm.
Um, Up next, we have their second album, came out a year later. This is The Diseased and the Poisoned. Um,
Oh yeah.
this is how I ever first heard of this band. This, along with Amir's, um, what was the Respect issue? They both
Oh
had
yeah.
commercials coming out on Headbangers Ball, kind of like back to back commercials. I remember Carnifex, they played like a quick sample of both albums, and Carnifex stood out more to me than Amir. Just because I thought there was a lot more going on. It sounded cool, it sounded evil, and that was something that I
Yeah.
thought was cool. Um, Listening to this, it has a very dirty sound, but I feel like they're kind of transitioning from this, the very dingy, grimy, rawness that Dead in My Arms was, but they're not quite to where they eventually went to. Still some good stuff in Coalesce with Filth and Faith, Dormant of the Sickened, um, the title track Diseased and Poisoned. But this one
Yeah.
kind of, I feel like this is probably one of their weakest albums for me. So I'm probably going to give this just a straight 7. What's your thoughts on this one?
I love this one, man, because it was like I felt like they had a pretty noticeable shift in production quality
Hmm.
from like the harshness to this definitely sounds more like professionally produced and crisp and more kind of clear and just kind of controlled, it kind of needed to be kind of harnessed. I don't know. And so I feel like this uh, captured their sound really well, and especially coming from the last album. But yeah, man, I just remember me and my buddy jamming this really heavy when it dropped, so I'm just always kind of fond of it. Um, I feel like they also really started the kind of hoppy, groovier breakdowns in this one. You get a lot of those that are just kind of chuggy chug, which I was really digging. So I don't know. I'd probably give this one an 8 as well.
Okay. All right. Moving on over, we have 2010's Hell Chose Me. This is a big one. This is where I remember seeing the music video for Hell Chose Me, and then I feel like there was a little bit of hype about this because it was already coming out like, hey, they're kind of starting incorporating a little bit of a black metal vibe on this one. Um, and I coming at the time, still super Christian. I wasn't super into that idea, especially with the title. So when this came out, I wasn't into it. In fact, it kind of threw me off. But going back to this one is a ripper. Uh, Obviously, the title track it opens it up with "Hell Chose Me," but you also got these bangers in "Dead Archetype" and "Tuned Monarch." Names
Oh
mean
yeah,
nothing. Um, yeah, "Liar's
Sorrow
Funeral."
Spell.
Yeah, this is a banger of an album. Um, I would say this is probably one of their first like big albums. So I'm gonna, and also the bonus track on this one is the Angel of Death Slayer cover. So bonus points for that one. So I'm probably gonna give this one an 8.7. What's your thoughts on this one?
I love this one, dude. I think this is definitely a nostalgic era of Carnifex for me. Um, just the cover alone, dude, is so damn brutal, and it's like this undead Pope type dude or whatever. Yeah, just evil as hell. But I love Hell Chose Me, Dead Archetype. Yeah, there's just so many rippers on this one, man. I'd probably give this a 9.5.
Okay. I gotta do math now. 18.2. So also, I'm not gonna lie, I keep forgetting I have to do a lot of double takes, but I always, when I look at this, like, it's very clear what he holds in one hand, but the other hand, I always sometimes think he's holding a machine gun, just because of what's in the background. It
Uh,
looks like he's almost holding like was it an MP40 or whatever with the giant like backstock.
yeah. Hey, yeah, I could see that. Yeah, is he even holding any? No, it's just a wheel, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just something in the background. He literally just has an
Yeah.
open hand in that one.
Yeah, okay. It's just so gnarly. Definitely brutal.
Up next, 2011, they released their fourth album, Until I Feel Nothing. This was the first one I bought because I got hooked onto the single, which was just the title track, Until I Feel Nothing, which was a super catchy song. Um, and I bought it, listened to the shit out of it. Going back to it, I don't feel like it holds the same weight it did when it came out for me. I feel like there's a little bit of cheesiness, but it's still not bad. Has good songs like Dead But Dreaming, We Spoke of Lies, Until I Feel Nothing. It's good, but I don't feel like it's. I feel like Hell Chose Me is better, and also albums that came out after this one are better. Um, so for me, I'm probably gonna give this a 7.8. What's your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, it was kind of a letdown for me, especially coming off Hell Chose Me. I was just so hyped on that one, man, and had a lot of high hopes for this one, and it just kind of fell short. Nothing really stuck. I just kind of quickly skipped over it, and I also was just kind of hesitant. It's one of those year albums. So like if you drop an album in 2010, then you drop another one, boom, in 2011, I'm automatically going to be skeptical because of how quick, it came out.
Mm-hmm.
So going into it, I didn't really have a lot of ambition. So, and it just kind of, yeah, man, just kind of missed it. So I would probably give this one a 6.
Okay. All right. So with this one, immediately after, I don't know if it was immediately, but shortly after this album was dropped, they decided to go on a break, either a hiatus or a full breakup. I don't remember exactly what they decided at the time, but I remember at the time it was Carnifex is kind of done for now.
Hmm.
So they decided to take a break, but eventually they decided to get back together. And in 2014, they dropped Die Without Hope. Um, I'll let you start off with this. What's your thoughts on this album?
Um, s- this was, I remember I definitely liked it more than the last one. Um, I don't know that I really stayed with it as long as I had hoped to. But I think, the title track's a good one. Um, and then there's some other good ones on here. Dragged into the Grave, I want to say. Um, better than the last, but I just don't think that I really stuck with it. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I'd probably give this one a 7.8.
I gotcha. Um, this one I was kind of like, okay, I'll see how it was because until I feel nothing, like I liked it, but for me at that time, Carnifex was just like, they're okay. I'll check it out. So I
Hmm.
bought the album. I just got back from Basic, and I bought it, and then I love this album. I think this is probably my favorite album by them. Just because there's a whole slew of songs like in a row of just like I listen to this, I have to listen to this next one. That's Dark Days, which has that cool piano part, and then to the weird solo. Condemned to Decay, Die Without Hope. Then my favorite Carnifex song, Hatred and Slaughter, which has that groovy riff, and then it has that crushing breakdown at the end. Then you also have Dragged into the Grave. I love this album. It was out of nowhere, and it actually made me more of a Carnifex fan because before I was kind of like on the fence, like, they're pretty good, but you know what? Not fully where I can get better deathcore elsewhere. No, this for me was a big album. I remember playing it a lot. Um, so yeah, for me, this is probably going to be a fuck it. I'll give this one a full 10.
Nice. Damn. I think I am gonna have to go back and revisit that one because I just remember those tracks specifically, Die Without Hope and the other one, Dragged into the Grave. I remember those ones being bangers, but I just don't remember this one enough, and I did not get in my listening on that one like I had hoped. But yeah.
Yeah. What was your? It was seven. What?
7.8.
Okay. All right. So they came back, released Die Without Hope, and they decided to just keep this train on going. 2 years later, in 2016, they released Slow Death, which for
Oh
me,
yeah.
I was hyped on Carnifex that time. I loved Die Without Hope, so I was eager to see what this their new album was going to be. I was kind of turned off at first because I want to say the singles were um, "Drown Me in Blood" and I think "Black Candles
Mhm.
Burning," which I felt like they're kind of going to more of that black metal vibe a little bit. and just kind of like melodramatic a little bit. Then also this, no matter what you think of this album, I think this album art is dumb and kind of bland. Uh,
Yeah,
cool. They did a lot of detail on the skull, but the album art is literally just a skull with a black background and some
just
blood
too
shooting out of the
basic.
forehead. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's meh.
it's way too basic.
But I will say, going back to this album, this is also an awesome album. It opens up with Dark
Oh
Heart
hell yeah.
Ceremony. The title track, Slow Death, Drown Me in Blood, Pale Ghost, Black Candles Burning, 6 Feet Closer to Hell, and then kind of teeters off near the end. Necrotoxic's pretty good. Picks back up with Countess of Crescent Moon. This is still a banger of an album. I'm probably going to
Hmm.
give this one a. I'm going to give this one an 8.9.
Okay.
What's your thoughts?
Yeah, man, this is where I kind of jumped back on the Carnifex train. I knew the last album was better than previous ones, but this album cover did make me pretty skeptical. I hate the artwork too. Like, I can't get past it. It's so blatant and I'm just like, come on, man. I need more creativity than that, but whatever. I moved past it, and the songs I think made up for it. The songs are crushing, and I think really catchy. Drown Me in Blood, dude. Like, I know it sounds like kind of just too cliche, but it works. Like, it's so catchy, um, and very memorable chorus. Um, but badass songs on here. I pretty much dig this album all the way through. I think I'd probably be right up there with you. I give this one a 9.
Okay. Up next in 2019, about 3 years later, they released World War X. I feel like this was a kind of a big album commercially. I feel like this, I remember seeing a lot of stuff everywhere, promotion wise for this album. A lot of people talking about it. I want to say even in, I think Terrifier 2, there's even in the kids' bedroom, there's a poster of World War X, in the movie.
Oh, no shit. That's cool.
Um, what's your thoughts on this album?
Uh, I, I don't know, man. I, I didn't really love the album title. And I mean, I guess it's just kind of more modern, war vibes. I think that's pretty obvious. So I didn't really give it much love or attention, and I don't know. I just still kind of feel that way. I'm not really crazy about it. Could, give or take. I don't know. I'd probably give this one an 8. I don't know.
Okay.
What's your thoughts?
So I was in the very much a similar boat, because leading up to it, because this is coming off the heels of like some amazing albums from Carnifex, so getting excitement. But when they announced that the album was going to be called World War X, and then it's like the cover art could be cool, but if it's tied into this war theme, I don't know. For me, that is a huge turnoff when it comes to Carnifex thematic wise. Like it's
Yeah.
not what I like about Carnifex. I feel like it's more of like horror movie type or like self-loathing. War isn't really the gamut of themes I really enjoy from Carnifex. It feels awkward and weird. Um, and that's kind of what the album opens up with is World War X, which is that war theme. But for me, going back to this, the rest of the album is actually pretty good. There's some cool songs on here I really like This Infernal Darkness, Eyes of the Executioner. All Roads Lead to Hells is awesome, featuring Angel Vivaldi, which I want to say
Hmm.
isn't he like that prolific
Crazy
guitarist?
guitarist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then also Hail Hellfire. There's some good meat on this album, but I will say there's a No Light Shall Save Us featuring Alyssa White Gloves. And this kind of makes me realize like I don't think Carnifex should really do guest features. I feel like Carnifex is best when it is just Carnifex. Because I'm
Hmm.
not really a big fan of her. Like I think this is the second time I've talked negatively about our arch enemy's vocalist, but and it's nothing against. She's an amazing vocalist. I just think the most recent Arch Enemy album isn't good, and I don't think this features that good is that good. I don't think it adds anything. In fact, I think it kind of takes away. She kind of does like a clean, angelic singing at the end, and I'm
Mm,
not really. I don't think it fits too well. When it comes to Carnifex, I don't. I think they're best isolated when it's just them. And if they ever are to get future guest spots, I think you need to branch out and get like um more death metal, more extreme vocalists. Like I would say good fits would probably be like Corpse Grinder or Matt Magachi.
right.
I think
Oh yeah.
those type of vocalists would do good on a Carnifex album. I don't know, I'm not
Or
feeling that
Vincent
one.
from the Encasio strain.
Yeah, even just like a vibe change, because there's another guest feature on a future album where it just blends so much. It's like I don't like it. I don't like this guest feature. I need if you're gonna have a guest feature, add some variety to where it's not gonna take away from the song, but it adds to it. Like the Angel Vivaldi uh feature, it's a guitar that's the feature, so I think that was actually pretty cool, and I think
That is cool.
I actually kind of wish more bands would kind of do that. I know some do, but have a guest musician who doesn't do vocals but adds a different idea to a song, I think is more interesting and cool. But either anyway, this album it does have some redeeming qualities for it, even though I wrote it off when it came out, and I kind of wrote off Carnifex at the time. Um, but going back to this, I do think this is stronger than I originally thought. I'm probably gonna give this an 8.5.
Okay.
So that's going to put you at a 16.5 at Roba. All right. Up next, we have 2021's Graveside Confessions. And I'm not going to lie, leading up to this album, I thought this was just going to be a remaster of all their classics because it seems like all the singles were um, just old songs re-recorded. Like it was collaborating like Killers, My Heart and Atrophy, Slit Wrist Saviors. Like, is this an actual album or is this just re-recording of old songs? No, it's a real album. What's your thoughts on this album?
Um, I think it's brutal, dude. I think it sounds. I think it's a nice redemption album. I think from the last, personally.
Hmm.
Um, kind of going back to the roots, I think, and very explicitly with Graveside edition of Slit Wrist Savior and those other ones, and so I thought that was cool. But I'm seeing this Dead Bodies Everywhere, and I don't know if I've heard this. Actually, I don't know if I've.
The Corn cover?
Yeah.
It's actually
Did you
pretty
like
good.
this? Really?
Yeah, it's actually I have a hard time I realizing it's Corn listening to it because they do a very good job of making it sound like Carnifex.
That's cool.
It's just when you actually listen to the lyrics and then you realize the kind of the bounciness that's going on. I was like, oh, it actually is a Corn song. Um,
Huh.
yeah.
That is cool. But yeah, I wasn't expecting that. But anyways, so I haven't listened to this album like fully or all the way through, giving it too much listen, but I do like the vibe change. I think it is better than the last. Seven Souls, I think, is a killer song. I like the first song, Graveside Confessions, Cursed. Um, I like this sound. I think it's Carnifex back to being solid Carnifex again. I would give this one a 8.5.
Okay. I'm kind of similar in the view of this one. I do think this is more of a return to form after World War X, but I do feel like it's still um there's some elements of this I'm not too big a fan of. I do feel like this at this point it's worse than the album after. When it comes to the I feel like there's almost too much going on with the incorporation of some of the pianos and the extra symphonic stuff. But I do think this one coalesces better than their next one. Like I do love Graveside Confessions, Pray for Peace, Seven Souls, Cursed, Cemetery Wander, Perpetual. Wait, that Countess of Perpetual Torment. Yeah, that's it. Wait. That's a that's from the that's from
What?
Slow Death. Why is
What
that on
is?
here? Countess of Perpetual Torment? That's a slow Oh, Countess of the Crescent Moon. Sorry. That's the Slow Death song is Countess of the um Crescent Moon. This is
Wow.
Countess of Perpetual Torment.
Ritual Torment. It's a different song, different countess.
Yes. There's a theme going on. Multiple countesses.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. It's a pretty good album. And I do like kind of the having the graveside edition of these classics like Slit Wrist Savior collaborating like Killers. I do think that's a good kind of throwback, kind of closer return to form, but still kind of pushing forward. Dead Bodies Everywhere, I think, is an interesting addition to have a cover, kind of like having a cover that's not the last song. I always think is a weird idea. I do think it kind of works with the flow of the album because I don't, like I said, listening to this, it's hard to realize off the top of your head that it's a cover because they do a good job of masking it as almost a Carnifex song. So that was pretty cool. Um, I'm probably gonna give this one an 8.2.
Okay.
What was yours again? 8.8.5,
8.5.
so 16.7. All right. And then lastly, we have their newest album, released in 2023, Necromantian and Mantium. Um, what's your thoughts on this album?
I didn't really stick with this, man. I tried peeping a couple tracks here and there. I still have not listened to this one either. All the way through. And I'm not sure, it just kind of has a lackluster vibe to me, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing was real changeable. So with that being said, I do like the cover. I think they took a good direction getting Tom Barber as a feature. That's cool. Um, but aside from that, like Crowned in Everblack, that was like one of the songs they released, and it was like right after Trevor died. I want to say that song's kind of dedicated to him,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Um, so that's cool and everything, but I don't know, man. This one just didn't really stick with me. What about you?
Yeah, so leading up to me going to see them, because I kind of had stopped paying attention to them. In fact, I didn't even know this album had dropped until I was about to go see them because they were touring this album.
Hmm.
I want to say I've listened to this album several times, and I couldn't tell you any specific parts of this album. It kind of all blurred together. It wasn't until this one, till like listen, till this assignment of listening to their discography, to where I actually did kind of enjoy it a little bit more. But I do have issues with this album. Like I was talking with the previous one, this one is very noticeable. I feel like it's a little too busy with the added symphonies and the pianos and stuff.
Hmm.
Like Cradle of Filth, I have this issue with some of their albums too, to where it feels like there's so much fucking going on that it's almost anxiety driven. This doesn't give me the anxiety, but I feel like there's too much going on. Um, but there are some cool tracks in here. I think Torn in Two is kind of starting to wear on me to where it's like, okay, this isn't too bad. Necromantium, the title track, Crown and Everblack. I'm having a hard time figuring out if I actually like this or I just like the cool aspect of like it's a throwback. Because when I saw them, they did have this whole speech about Trevor Strnad and how the
Hmm.
song is dedicated to him and written about him. So I think that's cool. But there are some other cool songs on their own, like The Pathless Forest, How the Knife Gets Twisted, Infinite Night Terror. So there is some good stuff. Um, but when it comes to like I was talking about with the previous album, the Tom Barber feature, I do think it's cool that Tom Barber's on here. I do like his voice, but for some reason, hearing his voice in Carnifex setting, I was I was not a fan. I felt like it was
Really?
for me personally, I was not a fan of hearing his vocals with Carnifex. So I saw he was coming up. I was like, all right, here comes Tom Barber, and it happened. I don't know. It didn't fit with me, and that was on Death's Forgotten Children. I wasn't too into it, so so this album is slowly growing on me, but still not there because there's still some issues I have with it. So I'm
Yeah.
probably gonna give this one a 7.2. What's your score on this one?
I think I would give this one a 7.
Okay.
Straight 7. You know, like one thing that's solid with this band through and through, like every album, you can always count on their title track as being pretty sick. Like they really
Yeah.
don't lack on bad title tracks. Like their title tracks are almost always bangers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I don't think. Well, the only exception to that I would say would probably be World War X. But yeah,
Mm,
other than that, every single one of them has been great. Because that was Until I Feel Nothing, even though that's the bottom of our list, that was a song that actually
hmm
made me want to go buy a Carnifex album. Um,
Yeah.
Necromantian, good song on this album. The Disease and Poisoned, Dead in My Arms. Graveside
Yeah.
Confessions opens up the album and is probably the most
Yeah.
memorable. Dragged into the Grave, a big single I want to say as well off it. Slow Death, then obviously the number one, and also Hell chose me. They're touring it for a reason right now.
Hell
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, yeah, that is our Carnifex album discography ranking. I wasn't really expecting. I feel like I kind of expected Hell Chose Me to be number one. Um, but yeah, wasn't expecting everything to line up how it was, but I'm satisfied with it. Are you
Yeah.
satisfied with this?
I think I dig that, man. I
Hell
like that.
yeah. We got Hell Chose Me at number one with an 18.2. Slow Death at number two with a 17.9. Number three, very closely behind, we have Dragged into the Grave, or no, Die Without Hope. Sorry,
Yeah.
with a 17.8. So very close in the top three. Then Graveside Confessions number four, World War X number five, Dead in My Arms number six, Diseased and Poisoned. After that, the Necromantium, and then finally at the bottom we have Until I Feel Nothing. That was a little surprising. That's all the way at the bottom, but you know what?
I know.
I
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Carnifex.
Carnifex. Yeah. So what are we gonna do next?
Mmm.
I have some names. I have some ideas. I'll
All
let
right,
you
hit me with it.
I'll let you decide.
Okay.
So, because here's my thinking behind this. So, I'm also want to do when it comes to these album discographies, sometimes branch out of our comfort zones and listen to some bands that we haven't really listened to. But in
Oh,
doing
so
that,
these names are gonna suck.
well, in doing that, if I'm going to do it to ones that we aren't super familiar with, have them have shorter discographies as well. So that way we're not having to digest a whole bunch of new music.
Okay.
So, and also I feel like we're death metal daddies. We should probably focus. We've been doing a lot of like offshoots. We have some deathcore, new metal, and stuff like that. Let's go back to
Sure.
some straight up death metal.
Ooh,
So,
some roots. Okay.
first off, I'm gonna say this one. I think we both know pretty well. A little bit of a longer discography, 7 albums, but the originators themselves, Death.
Okay.
Um, Other ones I have. This is the one who's also sometimes argued about whether or not they're the inventors of death metal. They only have 3 albums, and that is the band Possessed.
Okay.
Um, then we also have the original pioneers of tech death. They only have 4 albums. Atheist,
Okay.
and then lastly,
Hmm.
this is a wild card. Deftones.
Wow. Interesting wild card, but very fun choice. We got to do Deftones at some point, for sure. But I think I agree. I think we need to keep it death. We need to give the fans what they want. Death.
Hmm.
So let's do death.
All
The
right.
obvious choice. Like, yeah, I think we got to get the homework out of the way. To
Yeah.
be true death metal daddies, we need to know death.
We have
So
to address the ancient elephant in the room
yeah,
of the original death. Hell yeah.
sweet. I think yeah. You know what? There's a ton of people that are fans of death, and
Hmm.
I need to hear what the buzz is about because I think I'm going into this one blind. I don't know a death song. Do you?
Really?
I don't think I do, man. I think I'm
Oh.
going into this one totally blind.
So I will say,
I know names. Chuck Schuldiner.
yeah, he's the only member that's actually in every album. So pretty much the band is his idea, and he pretty much just keeps getting session musicians and firing them if they do something to piss him off, or if he decides, no, I want to move in this direction, or, oh, I found a musician who's better of what I want to do, stuff like that. So he is the
Okay.
only member, pretty much the only member. There's other members for an album, but that's about it. Gene Hoglan was in an album or two.
Huh.
Um, there's a couple of Cynic members like Sean Reinert and then someone else, I forget the other guy's name, was in an album too. Um, this
Now is
might
this
piss
Chuck
off.
guy still alive?
No, he died 2000 or 2001.
Oh wow.
And it
Okay.
was
So I
literally,
knew there was like a death related to this band that was real
mhm,
impactful.
mhm.
I guess it makes sense now.
That's why there's the Death to All, which just features members of Death throughout their career, touring around, just playing all the old Death songs. Um,
Okay.
And there's also Gruesome, like I was saying in the new releases, kind of playing more of the older style. I wonder if there's another band that's doing something similar. I want to say it's called Leprous. Doing a similar thing. I will give you forewarning because I remember hearing a lot of hype about Death. And this is gonna piss off a lot of fans, but I'm just gonna be blunt. Prepare to be slightly underwhelmed because you have to realize this is the first death metal band. Um,
Right.
so curb your expectation. If you think you're going to hear like the best death metal you ever hear, you're going to be
Right.
sadly disappointed. But
Right. This is where it began. So yeah, I need to tone down my expectations. I get it
yeah,
for sure.
the first three albums will be kind of like straightforward death metal. And in all honesty, that's my favorite era. It's the Scream Blade Gore, Leprosy, Spiritual Healing. Those are my three favorites. And then he kind of gets more into tech death, and that's when he kind of picks up Cynic members who kind of push him
Okay.
into like this more tech death thinking, starting with Human, then Symbolic, um, Human Thought Patterns, I think is the other one's called. Then finally, The Sound of Perseverance. So it's just those seven albums.
That's what's interesting about this band because before I've even listened to him, like I follow so many like metal pages and stuff, just on Facebook or whatever, and like I'll always see like a random death album, and it's just like best death album hands down,
Yeah,
and like
that's
it
the
seems
annoying
like
part about death fans.
yeah, seems like they have diehards for each album.
Yeah, like I want to say like my favorite album, I want to say is like pretty much universally hated by death fans. Like I love Spiritual Healing. That
Mm,
is my favorite album because I feel like that's when they're doing the straight death metal style. But that was the most crisp version of that straight death metal style. So I thought that was the best one. But apparently people hate it. But you know
huh.
what? But I will
Uh,
say that's the annoying part about death fans is that whenever they do a death metal list, death is always super high when it doesn't need to be. They don't need to be. Or if they do like a best death metal album of whatever year, if a death released an album that year, they say it's that album. But it's
huh.
not. And that's the annoying
Okay.
part.
Okay. See, I always see high praise about their album Human. I think I want to see that say that I've seen that as being the best death album the most, but I don't know.
Yeah. I've typically heard that one, Symbolic or Leprosy. It just depends on people's taste.
Hmm,
Um, yeah.
fair enough. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's
It'll be
do it.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, anything else you want to add before we start plugging?
I don't think I wanted to ask you as soon as we started, but I totally forgot, but just remembered now. Have you done anything with your truck? I'm just interested.
I have not. I drove it recently. That was about it.
Okay,
I've just
fair
driven it.
enough.
That's about it. I
Are you
need
looking at
to.
any truck projects? Are you gonna do anything different?
I need to get rid of the rust at some point, but it's one of those things that I don't know, just finding time, but also the money to do it. We just got our
Sure.
tax returns because we filed very late. Still filed
Oh
on
man,
time, but we
nice.
still filed late. Um, we got our state taxes back. Still waiting on our federal. That's taking a while for some reason. Um, but I don't know. Even that, I'm still kind of holding off because like I don't want to dump all this money into this truck kind of thing right away. Kind of ease
Yeah,
into it, and out. I know that rust treatment is going to cost a lot, so um,
yeah,
we'll see. Probably start just with a regular oil change first. Just start off
yeah,
small. Already had to
yeah.
replace. Did I tell you about the battery story?
No, I don't think so.
So I drove the Bronco up to Jeff City
Uh-huh.
just for fun because my idea was like because I had a place to stay with the military. They had offered me room and board to stay or just a room when I was staying for a military class I had to take. And then my plan was I was going to stay up in Jeff City because the kids were going to come up and we're going to take my friend's uh, maternity photos.
Oh yeah,
So,
okay. I remember
so
hearing
I
about
was,
that trip.
yeah, so I was just going to stay up there. My thought was like, if I can't find a place to stay, I'll just park the Bronco somewhere and sleep in the Bronco, camping. Pretty much a small RV, whatever. Be cool. I drove that up there. My buddy, who his wife is the pregnant one that we were gonna take, she was gonna take photos of, ends up saying, "Hey, why don't you just stay at my house, bro?" It's like, okay. And then the next morning, we were gonna, or no, it was that night when I was gonna stay at his house. Like, let's go do a beer run. Let's go ride in the Bronco. It wouldn't start. Battery was dead. Like, fuck. It's like, all right, we'll take my truck, bro, and then we'll jump start you when we get back. All right, go do the beer run, come back. He's like, all right, let's go jump start your truck. All right, pop the hood, and he starts he starts thinking, he's like, well, here's the thing. He is driving a diesel. Didn't think much of it. It's like whatever. Hook it up to his truck. Then I start putting it on the post of my battery. All of a sudden, sparks start flying.
Shit. Oh
We're
no.
freaking. I like immediately let go, and it starts like sparking. Like the post starts melting. He's like, "Don't just leave it on there." So I like pull it off real quick.
Oh shit.
Um, so I know diesels have two batteries. I did not realize. So normal truck is a 12-volt. Diesel batteries are 24 volts, and it melted the shit out of this battery. Like the post was melted. There was a wire that was going up to something. It was smoking. We
Oh
were scared
shit.
shitless. Like, did I just fry this fucking
Damn.
truck? Um,
Oh my gosh.
but we ended up just going to the closest AutoZone. I bought a battery, put it in, started up just
Oh,
fine.
thank
Like, all
God.
right, thank God.
Wow, yeah. Jeez. That's
Yeah, because the
scary.
post is melted.
Holy shit. Man, you got lucky. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
So yeah,
So yeah, I can
technically
understand
I've
why
already
you want to
started on a
start small.
project. I got a
Yeah,
battery.
yeah, true. Yeah, yeah. Hey, you got to start somewhere. No, that's exciting, man. I just asked because I feel like I'm kind of always testing myself out with my truck. Like lately, I replaced my tailgate handle, but I also bought handles for just the doors themselves. Well, I looked up how to do the door handles, and it's literally like I have to take off the whole interior panel to get to the handle. I'm like, well, if I'm taking off the whole interior panel, I'm replacing the fucker because they suck. So I'm, I gotta. That's my next project. I'm gonna wait and buy brand new panels. I've already scoped some out. Surprisingly, they make some that look brand new. Super pumped about it, but I'm not gonna buy them yet. I'm gonna wait. I've dumped way too much money here recently into this thing, so I'm gonna take it slow for a minute. But yeah, that's the next thing I'm planning on doing.
Yeah, I had to do that with my Bronco because I had to the day before I was gonna take it to get inspected, the door handle broke, so I had to order a new one. And yeah, I had
Oh
to take the
shit.
whole interior door panel off. Luckily, it's an old janky truck, so it's just three screws and just lift it up.
Nice.
But I think that's just because there's been a lot of issues since 1987 that it's
Oh
just
sure.
like someone's just lost a bunch of screws and was like, here's just three. I'm sure
Yeah.
if someone kept up more with, what was it, 97 or 99 or F-150,
99 Ranger.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot more things you got to do to take off the interior door.
Yeah, I've looked. It doesn't look too hard. It's maybe like 5 screws. I mean, it's
Hmm.
pretty nice. And it's all manual. I don't have any electronics, so just manual
Hmm.
windows still.
I
But
gotcha.
yeah,
That's
so
nice.
good stuff. Fun. But yeah, other than that, get at Deer Duff Insulation Services for all your insulation needs.
Hell yeah.
And listen to Dejector if you want to hear some good tunage.
Absolutely.
Um, aside from that, man, I don't know. I think that's it
I
for
gotcha.
me.
Well, if you enjoyed hanging out with us here at Death Metal Dies, you can check us out and get your more Death Metal Die fix with us at TikTok. You can also check us out on Facebook. Obviously, you can check us out either on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, really anywhere you get your podcasts from. You can also check us out on YouTube. We also have a Discord. It's out there. I'll make it prettier for all of you to have more of a fun time with that. It's a work in progress. Give it time. But yeah, you can also, if you want to, just directly message us through Facebook Messenger on Facebook or directly at deathmeldaddies@gmail.com. Let us know how we're doing. Tell us what you want us to talk about next. Tell us some albums we missed. Or just say you hate us. Whatever you want to do. You can do that at deathmeldaddies@gmail.com. But you know what? Until then, till next week, just stay daddying. Deathmeld
You're
Daddy's out.
daddied. On gang.
How was your tinkle?
Tinkle was good. It was very good, minus the burn.
Well, that's not good.
Yeah, it'll be all right. I was told it'll clear itself.
All right.